State football conference and national standout performers, and a trophy case filled with individual brilliance and team championships. Welcome to Bazemore-Hyder Stadium here at historic Cleveland Field on the campus of Valdosta State University for the home opener of the 2006 edition of Blazer football. Tonight, an intra-state rivalry is renewed as the Fort Valley State Wildcats, with an unblemished mark of 2-0, come into the Azalea City to tangle with the Valdosta State Blazers with a record of 1-0 on the season and a ranking of number 6 in this week's AFCA Division II poll.
Taking a look at the Gulf South Conference standings, to date, Arkansas Tech, Valdosta State's next opponent, which will be coming to Bazemore-Hyder Stadium on September 23rd, sits atop the standings, and Valdosta State is tied with them, as well are 3 other teams for first place in the Gulf South Conference.
Along with Dustin Swedelson, I am Neal Folger. Let's go ahead and take you back to last week when the Blazers opened up the season at Albany State. Second play from scrimmage, it's a fumble, and the Blazers recovered. However, they could do nothing with that drive. Here you see Travis Taylor breaking through the Ram line. He blocked a punt and recovered it, but also the Blazers could do nothing with that field position. As you see here, Rashawn Robinson, he fumbles it right back to Albany State on the 1-yard line. ASU would get on the board first when Willie Copeland is intercepted by Eric Crosby, who takes 32 yards for a touchdown and a 7-0 Albany State lead. The Blazers would respond, however, as Copeland pump fakes and finds a streaking Derek Tharp down the sideline for a 42-yard gain to the 1-yard line, and Dion Williams would push it in the end zone as we go into halftime, tied up at 7-all. In the second half, here is the play of the game as Willie Copeland finds Cedric Jones on a routine wide receiver screen, but thanks to quick feet and superb blocking, he takes it 67 yards, and only Marcus Jefferson prevents a Blazer touchdown. However, the Blazers would again not score on that drive. Albany State goes up 13-7 with this touchdown pass. There you go right there, 29-yard gain. However, the Blazers would block the extra point, and they find themselves down only 13-7. Copeland and the hatch attack would answer right back with this 4-yard TD connection to Tharp right over the outstretched arms of Mike Pittman, and we would miss our PAT as well, and it's 13-all until late in the fourth quarter. Matt Hawthorne connects on this 39-yard field goal, 16-13 Rams, but then Willie Copeland to Derek Tharp for their second touchdown connection of the night, and it's a game winner. VSU would win it 20-16. Let's go ahead now and check out tonight's starting lineups. First of all, for the hatch attack, for the air raid, the Valdosta State Blazer offense. At X receiver tonight will be number 8, Cedric Jones. At left tackle will be Josh Edison. Left guarding tonight will be C.A. Sanders. Snapping the ball to Willie Copeland will be Davis Russell. At right guard will be Mike Williams, and Gerald Davis, will be at right tackle. The wide receiver will be number 85, the junior tight end, Zach Parker. Derek Tharp will be at the Z slot tonight. Willie Copeland takes against his former club at quarterback tonight. Chad Bryant will get the running back duties tonight, and Tyler Arndt will be in the H slot to start tonight's ball game.
Taking a look at the Valdosta State Black Swarm defense, at defensive end is Kelvin Roberts. The defensive tackle is Travis Harrison. Complementing him, the other tackle is Ismail Abdunafi, the 350-pounder out of Elizabeth, New Jersey. The defensive end is Melvin Black, a freshman out of Apopka, Florida. At outside linebacker is Jamal Clark. Inside linebacker is William Montfort. At outside linebacker is the senior leader of this defense, Gio Blaylock. Left cornerback is the junior Sean Harris. The rover today will be Everett Kitchens. At free safety from Moultrie, Georgia, Sherrard Reynolds. And at right cornerback will be Maurice Leggett out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
On to the special teams for tonight. Kicking for the Blazers tonight will be Chad Gallahan. Punting duties will be performed by Stephen Wright, and returning kicks and punts will be Rashawn Robinson and Sherrard Reynolds. Stick with us. Coming up next, we'll have the opening kickoff. It's Fort Valley State and it's Valdosta State here live on VSU-TV.
I got a ham sandwich and some pretzels. You want some pretzels?
Nah, I trade you cookies or something.
Like what?
I don't know.
How about an orange? get it.
Hey, Jay, you got anything?
Don't ask Jay.
Why not?
Jay never has anything.
What's up with that?
Hey, you on a diet or something?
Yeah, a diet. Jay's on a diet. That's all right, man. We understand. My mom's on a diet.
Do you know how many kids are risking their health by eating unhealthy foods, stuffing themselves, and not getting any exercise?
Thank goodness. You got here just in time. Where's the problem? In there.
Hey, what's going on? What are you doing?
Here, try this. The original fast food.
Doctors know that our children need a diet rich in fruits, vegetables, high-fiber vegetarian foods to help them grow up healthy. Call for a free booklet or visit kidsgethealthy.org.
25 years, 5 Gulf South Conference championships, 30 All-Americans, more than 100 All-Conference players, and the 2004 National Championship. Valdosta State Blazer football. Blazer season tickets are now available in the VSU Athletic Department, or you can call 333-5890. Join this fall's Silver Celebration as your Blazers celebrate 25 years of building championship football. Call 333-5890.
We are back here on VSU-TV as we get set to bring you Valdosta State football. Valdosta State, Fort Valley State here at Bazemore-Hyder Stadium. And Dustin, you can't ask for anything more than an intrastate rivalry to kick off the home schedule.
Absolutely. Last week, Valdosta State went on the road to Albany State, and now we're taking another in-state rival in Fort Valley State.
Back to receive for the Wildcats are Darnell Lyons and their All-American Rashad Moulton. An All-American kickoff performer as Gallahan kicks it off. And we are underway here in Valdosta as Lyons takes it from the 3. And he breaks a tackle and he's found an alley. 35-40, 45. He is brought down by Gallahan at the 45-yard line. Dustin, we kicked it away from the All-American, but number 22 made us pay.
They still came back to hurt us, and you hate to see your kicker have to make a tackle and risking injury on that kind of a play.
That was Xavier Glenn on the kickoff return, not Donnell Lyons. As now we see the ball-controlled offense of head coach DeAndre Clark in his first year here at Fort Valley State. This is a team that's been known to run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, run the ball some more.
They've ran for 274 yards and 190 yards in their 2 games played already this season.
Marcus Brooks is set to receive the snap. And that's what they do, and they run and they hand it off to Brian Knighton, who gets about a 5-yard gain up to the 47-yard line, where it's going to be second down and about 7 yards.
And now the Fort Valley State Wildcats have 16 returning players this year, and that's really going to help them control their part of the game today.
Nathaniel Samus is in at quarterback, not Marcus Brooks. Obviously, Fort Valley State trying to shake up as their starting lineup. He's off from what we have up here in the booth. Second down at 7 from the 48-yard line. Wound up in the ace formation.
There was movement on the line, but it looks like it could be either encroachment or a false start on the offense. Let's see what the refs call.
The referee for today's ball game is Kevin Stein, and it is going to be a delay game
And it
call.
was a delay game.
This Blazer defense, Black Swarm, I mean, you saw what they did against Albany State. Can they do a duplicate performance against these Wildcats?
You have to hope that they can dominate the line of scrimmage as they did last week. And Joshua Bass, a former Fort Valley State Wildcat, is looking to prove something against his former team today.
Second down and 12, 13:25 to go in the ball game at their own 42-yard line. Handoff is tonight, and he's met promptly by Kelvin Roberts, number 97, and number 10, Sherrod Reynolds.
And the Black Swarm continues to dominate the line of scrimmage and stop the run as they did last week. Hopefully the offense can keep them off the field a little longer and give them some breathers this week.
Nathaniel Samus back in at quarterback for a 3rd down and 10 from their own 45-yard line. Do they pass it now? Do they run it now? We'll see. Ace formation, 2 men to the far side, 1 man to the near side. Blazers showing blitz in the cornerback. And here come more flags.
Looks like a false start.
Maybe the Blazer defense is just getting in the head of Samus here.
Kelvin Roberts seems to think that it was a false start.
And he is correct. Another false start penalty on the Wildcats of Fort Valley State.
That one was on David Stevenson.
3rd down and now 15 to go for the first down. Ball will be placed at about their own 40-yard line. 12:30 to go in this first quarter of play here at Bazemore-Hyder Stadium. They're going to stay in the ace formation, 2 men behind Samus.
And, of course, the Blazers in the 3-4.
Showing blitz from the linebackers and hauled up again. We've got another penalty. Play seems to be a little bit extracurricular.
Little skirmish at the end of that play.
Valdosta State, Fort Valley State, rivalry in Georgia. Separated by about 2 hours on I-75. And again, my goodness, 2 false starts in a row for Fort Valley State.
That Black Swarm is just very intimidating this season, and they're out to prove something against these Wildcats.
Brings back memories of last week when the Blazers got called for all those offensive penalties as well. 3rd down and 20 to go from their own 35-yard line. Still lining up behind center is Nathaniel Samus. 2 men to the far side, 1 man to the near. This time they get it away, and he's going into the air, and it is a incomplete pass. He was trying to hit Xavier Hare on the near side of the field, but good coverage there by Maurice Leggett, the junior safety out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and it forces a 4th down for the Wildcats.
Leggett, of course, the very versatile former linebacker, moved to rover and now plays all secondary positions.
He was in the media guide as a cornerback or fullback. I don't know what.
Wherever he wants to play, it seems like Coach Hatter's willing to put him. He was capable there.
Jake Grubb's in for the kick, and it's a wobbly spiral. The Sherrod Reynolds will take at the 25-yard line, and he's got an alley, and he's down at the 39-yard line.
Now, Willie Copeland just transferred to Valdosta State from Fort Valley State this season, and he won the job this fall over Barrett Wilkes, last year's starter, Alan Tillman, a transfer from Auburn, and former wide receiver for the Blazers, Clay Calloway. Last week against ASU, he threw for 346 yards and 2 touchdowns. Let's see if he can air it out again like he did against the Rams last week.
There will be no doubt what is first and foremost on Coach Chris Hatcher's mind. Throw, throw, throw. 2 men to the near side, 1 man to the far side. Willie Copeland behind center. Scott Palmer to his right. Chad Bryant to his left. It is going to be a pass. Fort Valley's bring the blitz, and he just gets it away. And I believe that they're going to get him for intentional grounding. There was no doubt about that one, Dustin.
He was not out of the pocket yet, therefore he cannot throw the ball away. And it's an understandable penalty.
Coach Chris Hatcher very upset at that play, that decision-making by Willie Copeland. Of course, Chris Hatcher entering into his 7th year here at his alma mater, Valdosta State. Credit that last play. The pressure came from the safety position, none other than Junior Talialu, the all-SIAC performer.
Not only does he look like Troy Polamalu in person, but in that play, he acted like Troy Polamalu, putting pressure on the quarterback.
Brings up a 2nd and 28 for Valdosta State from their own 22-yard line. 4 receivers to the far side. Zach Parker, the lone receiver, to the near side. Fort Valley opposite. It's another screen pass to Cedric Jones, and he goes nowhere. Good defense by Fort Valley there as he gets a minimal 3-yard gain, which brings up 3rd and 25.
Of course, they were looking for the big play that Cedric Jones had last week against Albany State, where he took a screen and ran it about 70 yards downfield.
You don't think Fort Valley is going to let that happen, do you?
No, and it's 3rd and a mile now. Copeland's going to be throwing one deep. You have to see that coming.
And that's exactly what Fort Valley State's doing, only rushing 3 men, putting 2 linebackers in the formation and having 6 D-backs. So here's Copeland He's trying to find somebody, and it is almost picked off and almost caught by Derek Tharp. Brandon White for Fort Valley almost had that in his hands.
And if you watch here, Copeland drops back, has his receiver in between a few defenders, and it gets tipped and tipped again, and Thorpe cannot come up with it.
Derek Tharp, of course, one of Willie's favorite go-to guys last year. There is a flag on that play, and let's see what the penalty is. Looks like it's going to be holding on the Blazers. Fort Valley is going to do the smart thing and decline that penalty, which will bring up a 4th down and 25. And in comes the Blazers special team. So Dustin, 3 and out for the Wildcats offense, 3 and out for the Hatch attack.
It looks like we're going to have an exciting in-state rivalry game here on our hands tonight.
Stephen Wright back to punt it away for the Blazers. And Moulton and Glenn back to receive it again. As there is Moulton, and he's going to take it. Look out, folks. This man's electric, but he takes a licking there, and he is stopped down at the 39-yard line.
By Will Weaver.
So let's see if the Fort Valley offense made any adjustments as they prepare to take the field again. 1st and 10 on their own 40-yard line. You saw how much of a running game they want to stress. Even when it's 3rd down, they line up behind the center.
And Marcus Brooks is now in at quarterback, who went 4 for 10 in a previous win for Fort Valley State and had 69 yards passing. They seem to have a by committee quarterback situation going on.
I formation for Fort Valley. 2 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side. And they're going to hand it off to Knighton, and he gets room pushing his way across the 45-yard line.
It looks like someone is down for the Blazers right now. That is number 92, Ismail Abdunafi. Oh, and he seems to be in a lot of pain, Neal.
It appears that on the replay, someone might have clipped him on the knee, and that's not what the Blazers need.
He immediately took his helmet off, and he does not look like he's going to be getting up for a little. He looks in pain.
We're going to take a break. We'll come back after this here on VSU-TV.
There's a naval battle being fought on land by forces armed only with commitment and compassion. Because every day, Navy volunteers combat homelessness, hunger, loneliness, and illiteracy by initiating community programs that touch people's lives. And while their exploits aren't honored with medals, it's hard to imagine a more moving tribute.
Welcome back here on VSU-TV. The injured player was indeed Ismail Abdunafi. He walked off on his own power, so we'll get an injury update for you as soon as we can. 1st and 10 now for the Wildcats. Is good penetration there. That's all I could say right there.
It was just Joshua Bass stepped in for Abdunafi, and he filled that role right there in being the key play stopper. And he looks mighty fired up to go after his former teammates right now.
Jarvis Williams was the man who ran the ball on that play. Brings up a 3rd and 6 now for the for the Wildcats on their own 44-yard line. 9 minutes and 30 seconds to go in this opening frame. No score as of yet.
And Marcus Brooks is still in at quarterback for the Rams, and it looks like he just dropped his little play sheet.
Motion by Knighton. Steps back. He's finding nobody. He's going to take off, and then he is almost tackled by his own player. But then, hey, look who it is. It's our old buddy, Gio Blaylock.
The vocal leader of this defense, who has been here forever and knows everything about this offense, or this defense, excuse me, as here you see Brooks under pressure, looking to find somewhere to scramble.
Got him. You know what? Look at that. He ran to his own offensive lineman right there.
And he almost made something out of nothing there, but Gio Blaylock, the smart linebacker, was there to stop the play.
He's sticking with it, and now Fort Valley State's back to punt. Sherrod Reynolds, that's a very good punt, leaning toward the sideline. And Sherrod's going to let that bounce out of bounds at about the 12-yard line, where the Blazers will set up 1st and 10 on their next possession. The VSU Music Department is presenting a student recital featuring Shane Pageant on trumpet this Saturday, September 16th at 3 p.m. in Whitehead Auditorium. For more information, Call the music department at 333-5804.
The Blazers are looking for Willie Copeland to drive downfield against his former team, of which he started 21 of 20 games over the last 2 seasons for.
And you don't think that Fort Valley knows exactly what he likes to do either.
They're about to air it out.
Fort Valley blitzing on the play. Nice catch there by Derek Tharp. They're going to mark his forward progress at about the 20-yard line, which will be an 8-yard gain on the play.
It was a perfectly executed curl on that play by Tharp. And of course, moment of impact, wherever he is first touched by the defender is where the ball is spotted, not where he was pushed back to.
There you see the Blazers signal caller, Willie Copeland, the 6'3 junior out of Rex, Georgia. Back behind snappers are going to hand it off here to Chad Bryant. And Bryant's got room. He's going along the sideline. 50, 45, out of bounds at the 41-yard line of Fort Valley State. Tackled on that play by Stephen A. Jackson, a well-designed draw play.
Here, Bryant finds a block from his
Palmer.
fullback from Scott Palmer, and he just breaks downfield, beating most of the defenders to the 41-yard line. That's the breakaway speed we saw last week out of Bryant, who rushed for 86 yards in just a few carries last week.
1st and 10 now for the Blazers at the Fort Valley 38-yard line. Derek Tharp in motion. As it's a bad snap, and Copeland's just going to fall on it right there at the 48-yard line. His knee was down.
Smart play to take a knee there by Copeland. You don't need to make a bad play even worse.
I actually don't think he was trying to get a knee down on that play, Dustin.
He might not have, but his body went down, therefore he went down, and he had to do that.
You can attribute that to Davis Russell, the center, the 5'11 junior out of Jacksonville, in his first stint this year as the Blazers snapper. 2nd down and 23 for the Blazers as Willie Copeland rolls to his left, finds Cedric Jones, and immediately he is tackled right there and brought to the turf by Eddie Young, the cornerback out of Macon.
There's Cedric Jones, another one of the young targets Copeland has been going to in the first few games. Here he rolls out of the pocket and on the run, rolling to the left this time, unlike last week, and finds Cedric Jones, who's met by 3 Wildcat defenders. And he even makes a block downfield. Look at that.
Mr. Everything. It appears, though, we did have a penalty on that play.
And last week, there were a few penalties on the offensive line.
Oh, wow, my goodness. It's a personal foul chop block on the Blazers, and that's going to take away a good 8-yard gain.
We saw this last week. The Blazers would make big plays and follow it up with penalties, and a few big runs by Chad Bryant got brought back last week, even a few critical first downs late in the second quarter.
This is going to bring up a 2nd down and 38 from the VSU 34-yard line. Snap is given as there is Rashawn Robinson pushing, shoving, going through the Fort Valley line.
I don't love the draw play per se, but there you have to understand it to maybe catch the defense off balance. Maybe they drop into a prevent thinking we're going for the first down on that first play there.
Correction, that was Dion Williams who took the snap, not Rashawn Robinson. So now with about 6 minutes, 15 seconds to go in the first quarter, VSU and Fort Valley State are scoreless, and the Hatch attack has a 3rd down and 34 from its own 38-yard line. Dedrick Tharp, Zach Parker to the near side. Tyler Arndt, Cedric Jones to the far side. Dion Williams aside from Willie Copeland in the shotgun formation. Here's the snap. Copeland takes back. Blitz is coming. Willie unloads in a hurry. He's going to find Derek Tharp, but it was incomplete. Could that have been a pass interference call out there?
I don't think that was a pass interference. It seemed like incidental contact. They got tied up on the way when they were both turning for the ball. If the D-back had actually pushed the receiver away from the ball, then maybe, but they just got tied up. It looks like there is a penalty on the play, however.
There is a flag on the play. Maybe incidental contact could be ruled as illegal touching.
They were beyond the allotted yardage for touching.
It was on Fort Valley State, but I really have no idea on what the penalty is. There has been a sideline infraction against the Fort Valley State sideline, apparently.
Someone must have been on field when they shouldn't have been on field. A coach or a player.
You know, first-year coach DeAndre Clark is very upset at that call. He's telling his players and his coaching staff, hey, to stay on the sideline.
Of course, there's not a lot of room here at Bazemore-Hyder Stadium for a lot of movement on the sidelines for either team, but they still need to keep off the field.
The players can't tell where black and white turf ends and where green turf starts.
No, but
they have a problem.
Sometimes you get caught up in the moment and you're rooting for the play.
4th down and 34 for the Blazers. Is in comes Stephen Wright, and he's going to put that ball away.
To the All-American.
It's going to be Rashad Moulton, the All-American. This time, though, I don't think he's going to get away from the Blazers. 3 Blazers are there to take him down to the 15-yard line, including Sherrard Reynolds.
Not only that, Maurice Leggett was also there. He seems to be all over the place already in this game, and they've contained the All-American on a few kicks already now today, which is a good sign.
Let's go ahead and tell you a little bit about this new clock rule that the NCAA has set in forth this year. Previous years, the clock would start when the referee would give the clock start signal, but now this year there are 2 new important rules to address. Instead of the clock starting when the receiver catches the ball on a kickoff or punt return, the clock will start when the ball is kicked. It appears that there was an illegal procedure call on that punt, and so the Blazers are going to have to punt that ball over again. As they see Chris Hatcher already with 4 or 5 penalties in this opening quarter, he is not a very happy man.
He's all business. He's a very strict coach, and he does not like mental mistakes being made by his players.
Stephen Wright now back to punt it away again. Personally, didn't get as much distance this time, but there's Moulton with the catch and goes down. What a tackle there by Eric Williams, the Rover sophomore from here in Valdosta, Georgia.
He made a great play on an All-American and prevented him from putting any points up on the board on that play.
In addition to the kicking clock rule, there is a new rule in effect right now that on a change of possession, when the ball is marked ready for play, the clock will start. Not when the ball is snapped. When the ball is signaled ready for play, the clock is rolling, as it is now, with 5:19 to go in the first quarter. Fort Valley, 1st and 10 from their own 27-yard line. I formation for Marcus Brooks. Man in motion, Wilson Kimball. The handoff is going to be to Brian Knighton, who punishes his way out to the 32-yard line.
By Everett Kitchens made the stop there for the Black Swarm. And still, the Wildcats have not been able to really break off for a big run. Here we see him get the ball, and he is met by the Black Swarm right there. 3 defenders in on the play. Obviously, they're getting great penetration against the offensive line.
Michael Cullen almost had his arms around Brian Knighton's legs. Just didn't work out that way. So we see here another I formation for the Fort Valley Wildcats. Nathaniel Randall and Wilson Kimball to the far side of the screen. Marker Brooks back to pass. He's going to connect, and he hits the man, but it's dropped.
I believe that's the correct call. It is an incomplete pass. He did not turn and have possession of that ball.
He was absolutely punished on that play. Marcus Brooks delivers a superb pass here. But as you can see, we have 2 men around him. Everett Kitchens and Carlos Anderson.
And they put a hurt on him and stopped the first down from happening right there.
That's the beauty and the anxiety about going over the middle.
There's punishment. If you're going to come over the middle, be prepared to take a hit.
3rd and 6 for the Wildcats on their own 31-yard line. Split back formation for Fort Valley State. Marcus Brooks. It's going to be a draw formation, and that's a good call there by Fort Valley as Jarvis Williams makes the play, and he is tackled by Sherrard Reynolds and Kevin Brace.
Here he comes around his block on the draw play and picks up a few yards, and he's shown that he's a pretty good running back as Fort Valley State loves to run the ball.
There we saw Coach Ashley Anders entering his 5th season as defensive coordinator for the Black Swarm, and what a job he's done.
Some would say he was responsible for the 2004 Blazer National Championship.
1st and 10 for the Wildcats at their own 39-yard line. Handoff is to Knighton, and he's got some room to run. Look out, folks. This man can fly as he is tackled at the 48-yard line.
By Everett Kitchens again in on the play.
Usually when you have...
Here's the replay. He has some real nice breakaway speed, and he gets some good blocks downfield. And now it's 2nd and 1 on the 48-yard line for Fort Valley State.
When your leading tacklers so far in the game are defensive back and safeties, that means your linebackers and defensive line is not getting enough pressure.
Absolutely,
on
Neal.
the quarterback and running back. 2nd down and 1 for Fort Valley State. Rashad Smith in motion. The handoff is to Knighton, eludes a tackle, still on his feet. Goes down at the 46-yard line, and that's going to be another Wildcat 1st down.
Knighton can really take a hit. Every time he's touched the ball, he's taken a good licking, as we see right here on this previous play. A missed tackle, of course, by William Montford, the linebacker.
It was William Montford or Joseph McCauley. We couldn't really tell the number there, but Fort Valley, they run and run and run and run.
And it seems to work for them. However, the Swarm needs to figure out a way to stop that run from getting through to the secondary players.
2 receivers to the near side. Rashad Moulton in motion. Handoff is going to be to Jarvis Williams, and he gets minimal yards on that play. Good penetration and stoppage there by the Black Swarm.
Ironically, they lined up with no men out on the right to block, so you figured they were coming around left where all the blockers were, and they still kind of went behind a few blockers to the right, but there could have been more in another formation.
Coach Andrews there signaling in the play calling from the Blazer bench as the Black Swarm takes notice at their head coach. 2nd down and 8 to go.
And Knighton is back in the backfield, lining up behind Brooks at the running back position. He will probably get the ball here on 2nd down.
It appears we're going to have a stoppage in time as Fort Valley State has taken a timeout on the field with 2:10 to go in the 1st quarter. For your weekly dose of nostalgia, listen to Lest We Forget as your host Skip Gildersleeve brings the past to life. WBVS 90.9 Blaze FM celebrates over 30 years of music on the edge every Sunday at 9 p.m. until midnight. For requests, call 333-5661. Or if you live on campus, just gotta dial 5661.
Absolutely.
It's that convenient.
They make it easy for you. Now, we thought maybe they were going to go by quarterback by committee early on with Marcus Brooks now taking over at quarterback as it seems. Let's see if the rest of the game plays out where Marcus Brooks continues to be the quarterback for the Wildcats.
Usually, if it's a quarterback by committee system, the quarterback who plays the best gets to stay in the game.
Kind of weird when you're a primarily running team and the quarterback doesn't get many chances to prove himself as an adequate thrower.
As long as that quarterback can take the snap and run, I don't think we're going to have any problems. 2nd down and 8 now for the Wildcats. Ball on the Blazer 44-yard line. 2-back, 3-receiver formation for the Wildcats. Bad snap there as Marcus Brooks looks downfield. And it's going to be intercepted by Sherrod Reynolds. Look out, folks. This guy can fly. 45, taken down.
Brings it all the way back to the 50. That is a huge momentum shift right there with 2 minutes to go in the 1st quarter.
And we just mentioned Fort Valley State is not much of a passing team, as we see here. He gets overzealous there. He's trying to hit Nathaniel Randall, but instead he got colorblind and hit the fastest man on the Black Swarm defense.
He just overthrew his receiver on that play, and could be nerves. It could just be a botched play. We saw the snap was actually botched as well. That could have had something to do with his hand getting on the football.
1st and 10 for the hatch attack at their own 50-yard line. Willie Copeland getting the signal in from Coach Hatcher. Derek Tharp to the near side. Cedric Jones to the far side. Chad Bryant in the backfield. Copeland going deep. Has a man, Derek Tharp, and a little bit of incidental contact maybe.
I don't think that was incidental. I believe that was pass interference.
We do have a flag on the far side of the field there. As you see the refs conferring right there. Looks like it's going to be a holding call against the Blazers. Dustin, Valdosta State is killing themselves with first quarter penalties.
We saw it last week. We're seeing it this week. And in the first half, there was a lot more penalties last week. In the second half, Coach Chris Hatcher went into the locker room and obviously said something to his team to quit with the penalties.
In this type of offense and way that the game is played, Coach Hatcher has already said there will be penalties called, but he's trying to avoid those penalties that take away big plays.
And that penalty, of course, was on Josh Edison on the line.
First down and 20 to go for the Blazers at their own 40-yard line. No back, 5 receiver formation here, so it's a screen pass, and it doesn't appear that the Blazers are going to get anywhere as Chris Murray takes a snap and is met promptly by about 7 Wildcat defensemen.
And the main player to stop this play, as we see here, will be Jawad Payne,
right
the
here,
defensive
42,
back.
14, 1, some number there, some number there. We couldn't tell because they were all in the clutter.
Defenders all over the place. It looks like Copeland's going to need to find another way outside of the screen to make something happen on offense.
3 receivers to the far side, 1 receiver to the near side, 1 back in the backfield for Willie Copeland. Under a minute to go here in the first quarter. Second and 20, blitz shown. Copeland picks it up, has a man, just overthrew Derek Tharp, and if he had gotten that placement a little bit higher, we'd be talking about 6 points.
There were no more defenders. He beat the man guarding him, and it would have been 6 points on the board for the Blazers had they connected. However, they don't, and now it's 3rd and 20 on our own 40-yard line for the Valdosta State Blazers.
Like you said, Willie Copeland a little bit eager on that passing play. 3 receivers to the far side and Zach Parker to the near side. Chad Bryant in the backfield. Only a couple runs for Chad Bryant here in the first half. And like I said, they're going to give it to him, and then promptly he's going to be met by Junior Talialu, the all-SIAC performer. And I don't think that that's going to get him a first down.
It, of course, would be nice. Here's the replay where Chad Bryant gets taken down, and there was no fumble on the play. We would like to see some stats that Copeland put up last week where he threw for over 300 yards. However, those numbers were kind of deceiving as he got off to a slow start in that game like he's doing today, not finding his receivers.
I think it might have something to do with a little bit of jitters about facing his old team.
As a quarterback, though, you do have to get rid of those jitters because you are the leader of the offense and you are the playmaker.
I'm a bit confused as to why Fort Valley State called this timeout. We'll come back and we'll figure it all out here on VSU-TV after this break.
A beautiful university
under the palms and pines of South Georgia,
just above the Florida border,
halfway between Atlanta and Orlando.
We are Valdosta State
University.
Outstanding academics, a showplace for the arts,
and the home of champions.
Vision,
success,
and you.
Prepare for your world
by coming to ours.
Building for our next century, Valdosta State University.
Welcome back here on VSU-TV with about 13 seconds to go in the opening quarter of play. The Blazers are set to punt it away to the tandem of Rashad Moulton and Xavier Glenn. As he gets off a very high punt there, fair catch is going to be called for and almost lost in the lights there by Xavier Glenn.
Good punt by the punter, Steven, right there, keeping the ball away from the All-American. That is Rashad Moulton, and he's very dangerous. It's smart play to kick it to the other guy lining up out there.
VSU Counseling Center and Miss Leah McMillan will present Overcoming Speech Anxiety this Thursday, September 14th from 4 to 5 p.m. in the Camilla Room located in Valdosta State University Union. For more information, please call 333-5940 as we have reached the end of our first quarter of play here at Bazemore-Hyder Stadium with Valdosta State and Fort Valley State knotted up at 0. We'll come back with the second quarter of play here on VSU-TV after this.
Welcome to Valdosta State University. Beautiful, isn't it? Are you upset about pesticides in your food, crude oil in your oceans, littering in our streets, clear-cutting of national forests, the killing of dolphins and sea turtles, destruction of wetlands? Now's the time to join Students Against Violating the Environment. SAVE helps by raising awareness among the student and faculty body about environmental issues on campus, in the community, and around the world. It's easy to make a difference. Simply call this number and join SAVE. Think globally, act locally.
Keep a great thing growing, America. Tree City, USA. When you plant trees in your community, you'll see an amazing transformation. Trees clear the air and conserve energy. Support Tree City, USA, where you live. Go to arborday.org to learn which trees to plant where and how to contact your state forester for community forestry assistance.
Lazy bones, loping through the day.
All over America, we're no longer just sedentary, we're stationary. And that's bad news for your bones, because bones need weight-bearing activity to grow strong and stay strong. So get up, get out, get moving. A message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons.
Never heard a word I say.
Yeah.
Welcome back here on VSU-TV as we start the second quarter of play here at Bazemore-Hyder Stadium. No score between Fort Valley State and Valdosta State as Fort Valley takes the ball at their own 18-yard line. First down and 10. It looks like it's going to be some sort of option play here as Marcus Brooks keeps the ball and rumbles, bumbles, stumbles his way for about 2 or 3 yards on that play.
The option, of course, as we see on our screen right here, is the famous college play where the quarterback has the option to pitch the ball or take it himself. There he took it himself, where he was met by defender William Montford, the linebacker.
Willie Montford. Second down and 8 for Valdosta State at their own 20-yard line. Ace formation, 2 receivers to the far side for the Wildcats, as they're going to hand it off to their fullback there. And their fullback's actually Brian Knighton, who gains about 2 or 3 yards on the play.
Continues to get gains for their offense while taking a punishment from the Black Swarm defense.
There we're seeing Fort Valley State's ability to run the ball even when they think they're going to pass the ball. Wait, we're going to run the ball some more. Third down, 5 to go for Fort Valley State. Just under 14 minutes to go in the first half of play. 3 wide receiver formation, 2 backs in for Marcus Brooks and the Wildcats. Blazers slow show blitz. Fort Valley State picks it up as there is Rashad Moulton, the All-American kick returner, getting a ball at running back, and he picks up the first down for the Wildcats.
Showing why he is an All-American in that play with that just quick speed right off the handoff.
Fort Valley State playing the Blazers much, much tougher than both of us could have anticipated going into the ball game this week.
Absolutely. However, they have not really had any big plays to their respect so far.
First and 10 for Fort Valley State at their own 29-yard line. Brooks takes the snap, throws on the run, and it's going to be caught by Nathaniel Randall for about an 8-yard gain. Almost intercepted on that play of the Blazers, who sniffed it out. As we see here, saw Brooks trying to get the ball right to Randall. But Brooks put too much zip on that ball, brings up a second down and 3 for Fort Valley State.
You have to wonder which direction they're going to go with it, to just pass the Wildcats. Maybe they'll go back to the pass, which was successful there, or maybe they will go to their shore running game.
Bread and butter. Second and 3 for Fort Valley State. 3 wide receiver formation. Marcus Brooks again, looks like he's about to pass. Throws down the far side of the field, just over the outstretched arms of Wilson Kimball. And that's going to bring up a third down and 3. And you would think here that Fort Valley State's going to try and get that first down through the trenches.
Brooks drops back here, as we see on the replay, and could not find his receiver as he was in double coverage downfield and did overthrow him on the play, showing why they're not really a big passing play team.
Third and 3. As we see the Blazing Brigade cheering on the Blazers. It is going to be indeed a 3 wide receiver formation, 2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends, And it's going to be a draw pass or screen or a toss pass, whatever you want to call it. It didn't work.
Sherrard Reynolds was there to make the big stop in the backfield for negative yards.
And for all of our viewing audience, if you try and take on Sherrard Reynolds with speed, I'm just going to go ahead and say right now, you're going to lose.
Even the preseason All-American kick returner could not take on Sherrard Reynolds in speed.
Don't even try and touch Sherrard Reynolds. He will burn you. 4th and 9 for the Fort Valley State Wildcats. 12 minutes to go in the first half.
And there's Sherrard Reynolds again receiving this punt, which is almost blocked. Might have gotten a hand on it.
I think so. And Sherrard Reynolds is going to take it, and he'll get out of bounds at the 30-yard line. A reminder for you guys at halftime, Holly Willis is going to present us with a package on the men's 2006 D2 National Championship team. So you will want to stick around and see Holly Willis interviewing Coach Hansen and some of the key players from last year's National Championship Ball Club.
Of course, the most recent national championship for the Blazers, the previous one in 2004 for the football team, and in 1979 for the baseball team.
There's 2004 Coach of the Year, Chris Hatcher, signaling in his calls. 4 wide receiver formation for Willie Copeland. Travis Taylor, Cedric Smith to the near side. Zach Parker, Derek Tharp to the far side. Well, he gets the snap. It's going to be a screenplay. There's Cedric Jones trying to put the moves on like he did last week, but he does get 8-9 yards on the play.
Copeland had a ton of pressure with the defender coming right down his throat on that play, and he found his bread and butter, Cedric Jones on the wide receiver screen.
Very good, decent-sized crowd tonight here at Bazemore-Hyder Stadium to welcome the Blazers back home. 2nd down and 3, 5 wide receiver formation. They're going to try it again. This time they find Zach Parker, and that's going nowhere.
And the sure-handed Parker is met by basically the entire Wildcat defense there on that play.
You think maybe Fort Valley sniffed it out there?
I don't know. See, he goes to his man in the clutch. That is Willie's man in the clutch. He was his man in the clutch last week, and Parker is met by everybody on that Wildcat defensive line.
Ivan Diggs and Junior Taliali were the main Wildcat defensemen who got there first. 3rd down and 4 for the Blazers. Willie Copeland back, finds pressure, and there's a flag on the play, and Deion Williams is not going far, but I don't think that this play is going to count very much, as it will, in fact, be a holding call on the Blazers.
Again, another offensive penalty for the Valdosta State Blazers, which is just pushing their offense back even more.
You see what Fort Valley State, the defense coordinator, and DeAndre Clark is doing here. They are not afraid to pressure Willie Copeland.
Well, they know Willie Copeland better than anyone, as he was a Wildcat the previous 2 seasons. And with that being said, they may know his flaws that we have yet to see since he's become a Blazer this season.
This might suggest to head coach Chris Hatcher, put in some draw plays, get some running game going, lessen up that blitzing defense.
Absolutely. Try to catch them off guard.
Or you could do, take a few steps back, recognize the blitz, throw it up to Cedric Smith or Derek Tharp, and try and make them go for the ball.
You could do that, but here, of course, we are forced to punt after that penalty and no net yardage gained.
Rashad Moulton, the All-American, back to receive the kick as he singles fair catch and makes the catch at the 36-yard line with just over 10 minutes to go in the first half of play. Come celebrate the 25th anniversary of Blazer football with the Chris Hatcher Show, airing Tuesday nights at 6:30 p.m. and Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. on VSU-TV Cable Channel 11. Your home for Blazer football.
Now let's see, it looks like Marcus Brooks will be back out at quarterback for the Wildcats. And again, number 9, Brian Knighton, the man who's been taking a pounding but getting yards for that Wildcat offense, is back out on the field next to him.
They're going to try something different here. They're going from the shotgun formation. The first time we have seen that all night long. 2 receivers to the near side, 2 receivers to the far side. Handoff is going to be to Brian Knighton. He gets about 2 yards on that play.
He was tripped up by the defensive end, Travis Harrison.
First quarter statistics just going into the booth here. And as you mentioned, Brian Knighton getting the job done. 6 carries, 30 yards, and not a whole lot of passing. -3 yards passing for the 2 Fort Valley State quarterbacks.
Well, we did not expect that going into this game to see a major shootout between the Blazers and the Wildcats. So they're going to stick to the run, which seems to be working for the Wildcats today.
Another shotgun formation for Fort Valley State, 2nd and 10. And there's a penalty flag on the play. It appears to be another false start call on Fort Valley.
And that Blazer defense is just intimidating and drawing false starts. However, it is not enough to put points on the board yet for either team.
How would you like to go up against the Black Swarm?
I know I don't want to be looking up and see. That penalty was on Joe Kiger, number 71 out of Columbus, Georgia, the senior, actually.
You don't want to be looking up and seeing Kelvin Roberts and Josh
Bass
right at your face. 2nd and 15 for Fort Valley. Behind center again is Marcus Brooks. And there's some confusion in the backfield, but that's okay because it really doesn't matter. Jamal Daniels makes a stop on the play for Valdosta State.
And they went with the fake handoff to one running back and then gave it to Knighton again, who takes even more of a pounding on that play. There's the man who made the stop, number 62. That's Jamal Daniels out of Thomasville, Georgia.
Thomasville, Georgia. 3rd down, 15 to go for the Fort Valley State Wildcats. Just over 8 minutes to go in the first half of play. 2 receivers to the far side, 1 receiver to the near side. Jamal in the backfield. Pass is going to be incomplete on the play, and you know what? They had it. Fort Valley State had Wilson Kimball going across the middle on a routine slot pass, and he just couldn't rope it in.
Here, Brooks drops back, has his receiver basically beating his defender to the inside, and he cannot make the catch. A lot of coaches would say if it touches your hands, you should have made the catch. And right there, the catch should have been made.
Instead, it's a 4th down, 15 for Fort Valley State. And the Blazers almost punt that ball again. As Sherrod Reynolds is going to make the catch at his 49-yard line and be brought to a stop at the Fort Valley State 39-yard line. So field position is now shifting into the Blazers.
Credit the defense and the special teams for getting that ball beyond the 50-yard line for the offense. Let's see if the Blazer offense can finally get something going against this Wildcat defense and maybe put some points on that board.
That'd be nice for sure.
Of course, the kicking game is questionable after last week Chad Gallahan missing 2 field goals and an extra point. Maybe Coach Hatcher wants to go for the touchdown more than trust his kicking game.
Everybody wants to go for the touchdown more than the field goal. 1st and 10 for the Blazers. It's going to be a draw play to Dion Williams, and he's going to be tackled at about the 39, 38-yard line.
Minimal gain there, trying to get a feel for how the Wildcat defense is coming out against the Blazer air raid offense.
Travis Taylor back in the ball game. He's going to be alongside Cedric Jones to the near side of the field. Zach Parker line up as tight end. Derek Tharp to the far side. Willie Copeland is going to roll to his left. He's going to go to the air, and it's going to be
phenomenal catch by Cedric Jones.
By Cedric Jones. Oh my goodness.
He came back and went over a defender to make that catch. Watch Copeland roll out to his left this time, and he gets some great blocking right there by Dion Williams, and he finds Cedric Jones, who leaps over his defender and basically tears the ball out of his hands.
Leaped over Eddie Young on the play. 1st down and 10, Valdosta State on the Fort Valley 20-yard line. Just over 7 minutes to go in the first half. Copeland takes the snap. Blitz is coming. Copeland going deep. Lays it out there. It's going to be incomplete on the play intended for Derek Tharp. But I want to point out something, though. He had a wide open Zach Parker cutting across to the near side of the field, but I guess the blitz really got to Willie Copeland, and he didn't have much time to see him.
Yeah, the blitz got to him, and he had single coverage going into the end zone. And when there's single coverage for a receiver going into the end zone, you just throw the ball deep, and if it's overthrown, it's overthrown. The last thing you want to do is underthrow it.
Or get sacked.
Absolutely.
2nd and 10 from the 20-yard line. Derek Tharp in motion. Snap to Copeland. Blitz is coming again. Copeland going over the middle. He's got a man.
And
it's
Parker's
Zach Parker. It's a touchdown. Valdosta State. This time he found Zach Parker, and it pays off. First points on the board go to our Valdosta State Blazers.
The sure-handed Zach Parker came across the middle and made a catch in the end zone over a defender to score the touchdown for the Blazers.
Zachary Williams is now going to be attempting the point after. It's up. It's good. So with 6:53 to go in the second half here at Bazemore-Hyder Stadium, the score is Valdosta State 7, Fort Valley State nothing. Another good march down the field for the Blazers, and this time they push it in.
As we see one of the VSU cheerleaders march down the field and back again.
Very nice, buddy. Very nice. On September 18th, Thomas Scott and Alex Muwaski and the VSU Art Department will be presenting the graphic design exhibition Design. Many original illustrations and posters will be displayed, along with other works from books, ads, and short stories.
That was what we expect to see out of Willie Copeland and the air raid hatch attack Blazer offense.
VSU is set to kick it off, and you saw there, Dustin, I pointed out when it happened, Zachary Williams was attempting the PAT, not Chad Gallahan.
Chad Gallahan, who's about to kick the ball off, who changed his number maybe for good luck this week. He was number 5 last week, 16 this week after missing 2 field goals and an extra point. You have to hope that maybe it's not a mental game with him now. Maybe he'll come back and be the #1 kicker again on the depth chart.
Gallahan set to kick it off. Deep to receive for Fort Valley. Rashad Moulton, Xavier Glenn. Who else? And kickoff is underway. Kickoff? This is a kickoff?
It was a kickoff.
There you go. Xavier Glenn takes it at the goal line and is met by 3 Blazers at the VSU 20-yard line.
Let's see if the Blazer defense can continue to stop the running game as they did just in the previous drive for the Wildcats.
VSU-TV would like to thank General Manager Brian Corley and Assistant Manager Jessica McKinley of Papa John's on Bemis Road for providing food tonight for the crew of VSU-TV. Thank you, Papa John's. First down and 10 for the Wildcats at their own 20-yard line. Marcus Brooks is going to find, no, he's not going to find him. He's not going to find Brian Knighton, who is coming out of the backfield for just what looked like a normal halfback pass.
Yeah, that's what it was, Neal, and he was met by defenders, so even if he had made the reception, chances are he wasn't going anywhere.
Second and 10 now for the Blazers. For the Wildcats.
The Wildcats. Blazers on defense.
That's the 4th or 5th time I've confused the teams. It's kind of hard to. One's wearing white, one's wearing black. 2 receivers to the near side. 2 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side. Marcus Brooks takes the snap, going back, being pressured, throws it on the run. He's trying to throw it to Marcus Bentley, the 6'1" senior out of Barnesville, Georgia. But he overthrew it on the play thanks to pressure from the Black Swarm coming across the field to the near side.
Actually hit one of his coaches right in the hands. Would have been a good pass if he was on the team.
Maybe he thought it was practice. Let's hope so. Which means we can score a lot of points. 3rd and 10 now for Fort Valley State. 7-0 Valdosta State. 6:15 to go in the first half.
3rd down and 10 to go.
Marcus Bentley on the near side, 2 receivers to the far side for Fort Valley. Marcus Brooks trying to throw it on the run, and he does throw it on the run to Marcus Bentley, who might come up just a few yards short of the first down.
Of course, college football being different than professional football, in which a defender does not have to touch a player once he's down. In college football, once the knee is down, the play is dead.
Another good stand for Coach Anders and his Black Swarm defense as the punt team comes back out onto the field for both teams.
Let's see if the same pressure can be had by the VSU special teams, and no, it is not. And Rashard Reynolds is back there to receive it. Oh, he
muffed
botched it.
But he still catches it, and he still made one man just juke out of his ankles.
A minimal gain there for Reynolds, who has shown some blazing speed tonight.
He made Nathaniel Rainwater go runway, and his legs go the other way.
Just losing your footing there.
Losing your footing. Well, back on the field comes the hatch attack, the air raid, the VSU offense, however you want to say it, it's the same thing. Let's see if they can get another touchdown in, as Copeland and Zach Parker connected last time for a score.
For their sake, going into the locker room, let's hope that they can put another few points on the board for Coach Chris Hatcher, who will not be happy not completing another drive downfield.
Coach Hatcher is rarely happy with performances on the football field. He's always striving to get that little bit more. One receiver to the near side, two to the far side for Willie Copeland, as he's going back in the huddle, being pressured, avoids the pressure just for a little while before being brought down by Raphael Horton, the linebacker out of Barnesville, Georgia.
Here we see on the replay, Copeland drops back to pass, but there's too much pressure, and he's met by a few defenders and taken down, not tucking the ball in right away. Very scary for the offense. He could have lost that ball if another man was there to hit it away.
Second down and 15 for Valdosta State on their own 21-yard line. Two receivers to the near side, one to the far side for Willie Copeland, who takes the snap, throws the ball out there. It's going to be caught by Cedric Jones, who is immediately met by Eddie Young, the cornerback out of Macon, Georgia. But again, another Copeland to Jones connection.
And the freshman here gets open. Copeland pump fakes, finds Jones, the freshman, who just seems to be in all the big plays for the Blazers so far this season, and taken out of bounds. Now it is third down, 2 yards to go for the air raid offense. Let's see what Willie Copeland's going to do with this situation.
Willie Copeland in the shotgun formation takes the snap, fakes the draw, throws to Cedric Jones, who breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle, is stopped at the 50-yard line, but hold on a second. We've got a personal foul, roughing the passer call on Fort Valley State, as you saw there in the replay.
Jones here makes a small planned catch into a larger yardage gain. Again, he seems to have a knack for doing that for this Blazer offense, and the Blazers are moving downfield because of the personal foul.
The personal foul was roughing the passer. Fort Valley players and fans seem a little bit upset. It was not a late hit. It was just a hit to the face. And if you try and get a quarterback on the face, it's not going to be happy. Cedric Jones to the near side.
Jeffrey Felton on the far side.
Jeffrey Felton to the far side for Willie Copeland in the hatch attack. Looks like we have a little stoppage in play here as the ref signals ball in. Clock starts again at 4:17 to go in the first half. Copeland takes the snap, pumps fake, goes deep, has Cedric Jones, who almost makes a sensational catch, but it just falls short of his grasp.
He managed to break away from a couple Wildcat defenders in that play, and the ball was just out of reach. Here, Copeland drops back. He throws the ball deep, a very nice spiral, and it's just a little too much for the freshman, who has a ton of talent, to make the play.
That's amazing. Raymond Thomas now checks into the game on the near side, as well as Travis Taylor. Derek Tharp in motion. It's going to be a draw play, and there he goes. Look out, folks. First down, Blazers, as that was Michael Terry seeing his first action of the night and breaks about a 15-yard gain. Blazers first down.
Here, Terry, look at that. He breaks off one defender, jukes another one, and manages to gain a few more yards as he's brought down by Junior Taluali, the senior from Long Beach, California. That's a far way to be all the way out in South Georgia.
The all-SIAC performer. First and 10 for the Blazers at the Fort Valley 23-yard line. Raymond Thomas on the near side. Derek Tharp to the fall side. Fake, and it's going to be incomplete. Intended for Raymond Thomas. Credit the defense of Fort Valley State coming in earlier than Willie Copeland would have liked. Otherwise, we might have been talking about 6 points.
And a personnel change here as Raymond Thomas will come out of the game, and Cedric Jones, who just caught a breather after making two tremendous runs downfield for the Blazers, caught his breath, and now he's back on the field. And he looks to be Copeland's go-to guy here in the red zone.
Michael Terry and Donnie Powell now checking into the game in the running back positions, along with Jones and Tharp, who's now in motion to the far side of the screen, joining Zach Parker, the tight end. 2nd and 10 for the Blazers. Copeland with the snap. Blitz coming. Delivers it off. It's going to be
a tremendous catch.
Caught in the end zone by Derek Tharp, which means 6 points for the Blazers. Touchdown, VSU.
Here, Copeland drops back with defenders in his face, manages to get the throw up deep into the end zone where Tharp reaches over 2 defenders, even getting hit, holds on to the ball. The junior from Warner Robins, along with Cedric Jones, seem to be key players in this hatchet tack offense.
Zachary Williams in to attempt the point after. It is up. It is good. Your score with only 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the first half. Valdosta State 14, Fort Valley State nothing. We'll come back with the rest of the first half action here on VSU-TV right after this.
On the football field, you've got to stay focused and not get distracted. The same is true on the road. So before your wireless phone becomes a distraction, take a timeout for safety. In bad weather or traffic, call later. Dial sensibly and use a hands-free device. You know, your wireless phone can be your best safety tool. To call for help, stop a crime, however you use it, remember, with wireless, safety is your call.
Welcome back here on VSU-TV. 14-0 Valdosta State with 2 Willie Copeland touchdown passes have found themselves with the lead here with about 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. Chad Gallahan set to kick it off as we see our Blazer fans up in full force tonight here at Bazemore-Hyder Stadium. The
Not a
kickoff
great
is
kick.
short, taken at the 24-yard line. And I'm not sure what this extracurricular activity is going on, but it means nothing as the Fort Valley Wildcats will get the ball at their own 36-yard line with 3:25 to go. Every Thursday from 8 to 10 p.m., listen to WVVS 90.9 Blaze FM for the X's and O's show. Join AMAC, Big Red, Fat Flyer, and Tall B as they bring you Valdosta's only rock talk sports radio program, 6 years and running. Call in with your sports opinions at 333-5661. The X's and O's show, that's jock talk without the itch. 5 wide receivers set for the Wildcats, and a new quarterback appears to be into the game, and he delivers a zip and incomplete pass.
Again on the fingertips. You can't ask for anything more out of your quarterback than to hit your receiver in the chest and the fingertips just like that.
Cedric West was the new quarterback in for Fort Valley State, and even with his first pass, he zipped it in there.
That's the 3rd catch that a receiver on the Wildcats has dropped already this game. Their first-year coach, Clark, cannot be happy right now with the way his receivers are playing.
Maybe it goes to show that they should practice more on throwing instead of running in practice.
Could be, Neal. That could be the case.
Another 5 receivers set. As there you go, he takes off. Look at his feet.
He can move. He's got some quick feet.
Wow, is that Vince Young out there?
West is a little smaller than Vince Young, but he's got some moves. He made some nice plays on that run right there. Saw he had no receivers and managed to gain a few yards for the Wildcat offense.
Cedric West is really taking charge of this offense here. Another 5 wide receiver formation for Fort Valley State. First, 3rd and 4 at their own 42-yard line. 2 minutes, 30 seconds to go in the game. Flag on the play, could be false start. But there goes West. He is taken down before he gets the first down.
Looks like offsides on the Blazers, if you ask me.
Lavaris Dollar, the money man, with the tackle on the play. But that play probably is going to be not, as the Blazers might get called for an offsides call.
Again, a mental mistake right when you were about to make a big stop for the Blazers.
That offsides call will result in a Fort Valley State first down.
instead of a possible 4th down and punt and try to score on a 2-minute drill right before the half, now the Wildcats gain a 1st down on that penalty and have a whole new set of yards to work with.
1st and 10 for the Wildcats at their own 47-yard line. Another 5-receiver formation for the Wildcats. Cedric West takes the snap. Another design quarterback draw. Look out. He's got legs. Gets pushed out of bounds at the 46-yard line by Sean Harris.
And he had some good blocking downfield by his wide receiver, Marcus Bentley, as we see here on the replay. He drops back, no intention to ever pass the ball, has huge gaps to run through. And here we see Bentley doing a little number on, I believe that was number 19, Sean Harris, the cornerback.
Sean Harris is like, not in my house, fool.
However, it is 2nd and 4 yards to go for the Wildcat offense.
That's okay. Keep him out of the end zone is all I say.
And they'll be running their 2-minute drill very, very soon, as we have 2 minutes and 6 seconds left to go in the half.
Another pass by Cedric West. This time he finds his receiver at about the 35-yard line. Chris Jones nails him on the play, but the connection to Xavier Harris, about a 20-yard gain.
West finds his receiver. He is not punished immediately by Kevin Bray, the defensive back, and he gains a few yards and gains a 1st down, and now they're deep, not really deep, semi-deep into the Blazer red zone.
1st and 10 for Fort Valley State.
West is really commanding this offense. He seems like a very big leader on this team. I'm surprised he wasn't in sooner.
Another 5-receiver formation. Cedric West throwing over the middle, and that's going to be caught on the play by Jarrell Hall, the tight end out of Americus, Georgia. And Dustin, on that play, there was a Blazer defenseman who fell down, who was going to stop Jarrell on that play.
And that was the speedster, Sherrard Reynolds, who we've been talking about all game positively. There he falls, just like he fell on one of the punt returns earlier in the game. And it looks like the Blazers will call a timeout here.
Good decision-making by Fort Valley State. Passing the ball instead of running the ball here.
And the Wildcat fans are loving it because they are now deep, very deep into the red zone of the Blazer defense.
Fort Valley State always brings a huge crowd down to Valdosta when the Wildcats come to the Azalea City. Tonight is no difference as we approach 1:30 to go in the 1st half. 14-0 Valdosta State, but Fort Valley is threatening. This Thursday, September 14th, VSU Theater will bring its first show of the year to VSU. From Academy Award winner Alan Ball comes 5 women wearing one dress. Running from September 14th to September 20th, 5 women have been described as edgy and fun. For more information, call the VSU box office at 333-7770. And reminder, stay tuned for halftime when we will get to check out Holly Willis's package on the 2006 NCAA Division II National Championship Men's Tennis Club. But now it is 1st down and goal to go for the Wildcats of Fort Valley State at the 9-yard line.
This next 1:36 will be very telling of how the rest of the game will go and how the momentum will be going into the half.
Cedric West takes the snap, quarterback draw. He's got room, he's gonna fire, and he hits Marcus Bentley at about the 5-yard line. 2nd down and goal to go at the 5.
I really like the way West commands this offense. I'm really thinking that the coaches are going to stick with him going into the 2nd half and for the rest of the game. He seems to know what he's doing and able to throw the ball, unlike Brooks had been doing earlier in the game.
I see no reason why they should take that man out. He is in such command of the offense.
And he's a multiple threat in that he can throw the ball and he can run. As we just saw there, he scrambled around and then found his receiver.
We are under a minute to go here in the 1st half of play, and Fort Valley State is going to take their last time out is going to take their last time out of the 1st half. 55.2 seconds to go. VSU 14, Fort Valley State threatening. And again, a reminder, stick around at halftime where you will see Holly Willis's package on the NCAA 2006 Division II National Championship Men's Tennis Team.
Give them some recognition that they deserve as they...
Oh, very much so.
They went out and performed an amazing task to represent this entire university here.
One of only 3 national championships that VSU's athletic program has brought in since its inception back in the 50s.
And all three coaches of those teams graduated from Valdosta State and were Blazers of those respective teams.
Tommy Thomas of baseball, Chris Hatcher of football, John Hansen of tennis. 2nd down and goal to go for the Wildcats.
Again, getting a little of the colors confused again, Neal.
I don't know what it is. Maybe I need a better glasses prescription.
This is a big play with 55 seconds to go and no timeouts left for the Wildcats. They only have a few plays in their system left right now.
Jumbo formation in for the Wildcats as they're going to hand it off to Knighton. And he is going to get, let's check it out here. Initial reaction was a touchdown, but it looks like they're going to mark him just shy of the goal line.
He's at the 1. You can't really see from the replay whether he got in. It looks like he was stopped at the 1-yard line. A big stop for the Blazer defense.
It looks like he was stopped and then rolled into the end zone. Time is still winding down. 26 seconds to go, 25, 24. Looks like Valdosta State is going to take their 2nd timeout of the first half.
The Blazers there had to use their timeout to get the right personnel on the field to stop the run right up the gut now.
Now on that replay we just saw, Sherrard Reynolds made a stop at the goal line, but it looked like after that stop, Knighton rolled into the end zone. So maybe Fort Valley, or maybe Valdosta State got away with a break there.
They may have.
It is electric in this stadium right now as we see the Fort Valley State Wildcat actually making a first appearance now on the visitor's sideline. There we see the Black Swarm getting their lesson of coaching.
This is a big play because there may not be enough time if the Wildcats are going for a touchdown here to bring out the special teams and kick a field goal before time runs out. They could be going all or nothing here, the Wildcats.
I am really confused as to why the Fort Valley State coaching staff didn't recognize the obvious talent that Zedrick West possessed and didn't plug him in earlier. But here we go, big possession. The crowd is on its feet here on both sides of the stadium. 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line, jumbo formation. Zedrick West behind center. And it's a fumble. And it's gonna be knocked in the backfield. And what a stand by the Blazer defenseman.
They need to get back to the play, though, however, as they're rushing the kicking team out there for the Wildcats. They cannot afford an offsides penalty here.
10, 9, 8, 7 seconds to go.
I don't know if they'll get this off, Neal.
5,
this is a tough play.
4,
They used all their timeouts.
3, the kick is away, and it is good. Just as time expires, hold up here. We've got a flag on the play. A flag on the play. It might be against Fort Valley. Let's check it out. Let's check it out here.
They might have had enough men on the line there.
Illegal participation on Fort Valley. Oh my. It appears that even though there was an illegal substitution penalty, the clock is going to be reset at 2 seconds now, as we see another flag has come in onto the field. This might be another one of those sideline infractions on Fort Valley State. Fort Valley State is kicking themselves in the foot right now.
Unfortunately, the kickoff, the field goal will be re-attempted for the Blazers, and they need to try to block it here to change the momentum of this game going into the half.
Unsportsmanlike conduct is the call against Fort Valley State. On one side of the stadium, it's complete chaos. On the other side of the stadium, it's complete. Whew.
The chip shot that was now becomes an even further field goal for their all special teams SIAC kicker.
And keep in mind, once the ball is signaled ready for play, the clock is going to start. It should start. So we're going to see what's happened. So you go to a 3rd down inside the 1-yard line. Fort Valley fumbles it. There is an illegal substitution call on the Wildcats, as now Valdosta State appears like it's going to take its final timeout of the half. Dustin, my goodness, we came from going into halftime And then 5 minutes later, we're still talking about a same play.
And this is a smart play right here by Coach Chris Hatcher. He's getting in the head of the Wildcat kicker, who has been great thus far this year. That is number 62, Jake Grubbs. And by calling a timeout here, he's now making Grubbs focus on this kick so much, hopefully getting in his head and forcing him to miss the kick or kick it low.
As you mentioned, he is a heck of a leg. He was the All-SIAC Special Teams Performer of the Year. And wow, what a sequence to this final 10 seconds of play here in the first half.
On the Wildcat side of the field, it went from chaos to silence. You could hear a pin drop in the stands right now.
So instead of being a chip 17-yard field goal, Fort Valley State is looking at a 42-yard field goal.
And the Blazers have blocked a kick already this year.
They've blocked a kick, they've blocked a punt. So 2 seconds to go.
And the
Michael Cullen signaling the Blazer faithful to get up, make some noise. As now, here we go. Final play of the first half. 42-yard field goal by Jake Grubbs. Snap is good. Kick is away. And it appears like it hooked to the left. What a way to end the half for the Valdosta State Blazers as they are running into the tunnels, and Fort Valley, they are not.
That was just a huge momentum shift in the game going into the half, and the Blazers will get the ball back at the beginning of the second half.
That they will, and that ends the first half of play here at Bazemore-Hyder Stadium. Remember, coming up next, Holly Willis will take us to the men's tennis team as they reflect on bringing home a national championship and how they're preparing to do it again. Halftime score, VSU 14, Fort Valley State 0. We'll be back after this on VSU-TV.
25 years, 5 Gulf South Conference championships, 30 All-Americans, more than 100 All-Conference players, and the 2004 National Championship. Valdosta State Blazer football. Blazer season tickets are now available in the VSU Athletic Department, or you can call 333-5890. Join this fall's Silver Celebration as your Blazers celebrate 25 years of building championship football. Call 333-5890.
The Valdosta State tennis team may not have a match until spring, but now during the fall, the team is getting prepared for what they hope will be another outstanding season. But in the midst of all the preparation for the upcoming season, head coach John Hansen reflects on what it was like to bring home the national title.
During that match, it got a little shaky in there. So when we finally, that's one thing about tennis, is the winner has to win the last point. But when you won the last point, it's over. And when it was over, there was a huge sigh of relief from all of the coaches. In fact, there were a few tears shed that day.
In his 34th year of coaching here at VSU and numerous awards under his belt, including 10 Gulf South Conference Coach of the Year awards, Coach Hansen is preparing his team like any other teams in past years.
We have recruited a couple of new players with the inclusion of Ben Catton, who was not eligible last year. He'll become eligible in January. So we're going to be in there. We'll be in the hunt. That's all you can ask for.
Although tennis is the main reason for most of the players to come to VSU, some team members come to experience other things that the university has to offer them.
I mean, it's a good chance for people from foreign countries to go to America, study abroad, and get a scholarship for that. And we can do both study and the sport we love, so it's a great opportunity.
On the other side of the court, the women's tennis team made it to the round of 16 last year. Coach Hansen said they will once again be tough competitors, with losing only 2 players from last year's squad.
After winning a national title this spring, the men's tennis team joins only the Blazer baseball team of 1979 and the football team of 2004 to ever win national titles here at VSU. But don't count the men's tennis team out this year either. Head coach John Hansen is determined to win another national crown. For the Blazer Sports Report, I'm Holly Willis. Now back to Bazemore-Hyder Stadium, where the Blazer football team is hosting the Fort Valley State Wildcats, here on VSU-TV.
We are back here at Bazemore-Hyder Stadium as it's starting to drizzle a little bit outside. as we get ready for the second half between VSU and Fort Valley State. Fort Valley is set to kick it off to our Blazers. This is an onside kick, but it doesn't work out as great field awareness there.
Eric Williams.
By Eric Williams prohibits a very inauspicious start to the second half for VSU.
The Blazer offense in the first half was fairly successful throwing the ball. Willie Copeland was 11 for 17, throwing for over 100 yards, 104 to be exact, and 2 touchdowns in the first half. Chad Bryan on just 2 carries has 38 yards. And Michael Terry also has 13 rushing yards today for the Blazer offense.
Not as balanced as last week, but whatever gets the job done is best for head coach Chris Hatcher and his Blazers. 1st and 10 at our own 45-yard line for Willie Copeland and the Blazer squad. Copeland steps back. He's going deep. He's got a man, and it's going to be overthrown on the play intended for his main man, Cedric Jones.
Jones had 5 receptions in the first half for 56 yards. His counterpart on the other side, Derek Tharp, had 2 receptions for 31 yards, and Zach Parker had 2 catches for 20 yards. And of course, Tharp and Parker each had touchdown catches in the first half.
They would take 1 catch for 1 touchdown, more than 3 or 4 catches for 70 yards any day of the week. I know that.
It seems like Copeland's starting to settle in against his former team now.
Which is good. Tharp in motion to the far side of the screen. Copeland takes the snap. Foreman rushing for Fort Valley. Copeland finds a wide open
Michael Terry
on the
puts a juke
backfield,
on a defender there,
and
spins
spin
off
move on
another. Look at Terry fighting there, but there's a flag on the play. Let's see if that will be brought back. I think it may be in the secondary on the Fort Valley State Wildcats. Let's see what the refs have to say.
Could be illegal touching, could be pass interference. I doubt it's going to be pass interference because the ball was not thrown past the line of scrimmage at all.
Terry was wide open that entire play. Luckily, Copeland found him.
It's going to be a defensive holding call against the Wildcats. So looks like the Blazers are going to get some extra yardage if they choose to, and a new set of downs. That's going to be called on the all-SIAC strong safety, Junior Taliali.
That was just a nice run by Michael Terry, not going down on initial contact and fighting his way and spinning off a defender to get some extra yards out of that play and making a little more out of that.
Coach Hatcher calling in the plays. 1st and 10 for the Blazers at Fort Valley's 45-yard line, and a handoff is to Michael Terry.
Look at Terry go.
Look out as he is rudely stopped at the 31-yard line by Randon White, the strong safety out of Stone Mountain. But like you said, Dustin, they're trying to get that running game going, and no better way than to do it the way Coach Hatcher likes to.
Of course, there is no set starting running back on this team. It's more of a committee thing, kind of like we saw going with the quarterback for the Wildcats earlier in the game.
There you just saw Sean Calhoun, former player for VSU, not coming back as a gratitude to his former head coach, Chris Hatcher, now his boss. Calhoun steps back, throws on the run, has a receiver. It's Derek Tharp, but it's incomplete. Again, Copeland saw the single coverage in the backfield, delivered a ball that could be caught just out of the outstretched arms.
Just a little too much on that. You see Copeland drop back. He had a few defenders coming at him, but had plenty of time to throw, and it's just out of the reach of the stretched arms of Tharp, who beat his defender by a few steps.
I bet you if Willie Copeland doesn't throw that pass off his back foot, we're looking at 6 points.
Absolutely. He had the defender coming down, and he thought he had to rush it. He probably had more time than he thought.
2nd down and 10 for the Hatch attack at the Fort Valley 32-yard line. 2 receivers to the near side as the ball is snapped. Copeland again going deep, has out single coverage, and the pass is going to be
There is a flag earlier
incomplete
in the play, if you see around the 30-yard line.
Pass was intended for Cedric Jones. Let's see what the flag is going to be on.
It may have just been dropped, or it is a penalty on the Blazers.
Looks like a legal man downfield on the Blazers, which usually means that a lineman or a player not registered as a receiver made his way past the line of scrimmage before the ball was thrown.
Regardless of the penalty there, you saw Cedric Jones get maybe a quarter step on his defender there, who made a nice play to recover. These Blazer receivers are really putting the moves on the secondary players for the Wildcats, and you don't know how long they're going to hold on for and keep coverage real tight.
I'll say it again. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. This Blazer wide receiving core has the potential to be one of the best wide receive bunch in the entire nation.
Inexperienced, but they have talent.
We've got a couple receivers that have been around here for 3-4 years, so don't say that.
The star is a little inexperienced.
Second and 15 as the ball snapped to Copeland. Seven-step drop as instead he's going to throw on the run.
Overthrows Palmer.
Intended for Scott Palmer there. Credit the blitz there by the Fort Valley defense led by number 91, Sergio Pengel, the 6'2 sophomore out of Atlanta, Georgia, who actually went to Berkmar. I know where Berkmar is.
Very good, Neal.
Thank you. I went to Brookwood. We hated him. 3rd and 15 now.
Michael Terry still in at running back. Chad Bryant, who had a pretty good first half, 2 touches for 38 yards, has not seen any time yet early in the second half. However, Terry has been fairly successful coming out of the gates.
3rd and 15 for the Blazers. Jeffrey Felton to the near side. Zach Parker lined up as a tight end. Cedric Jones lined up on the far side. It looks like we're going to get an early timeout call by the Blazers, using their first timeout with 13:34 to go in the 3rd quarter. Wildcat tradition celebrates America's winningest high school football program. Join new coach Rich Tomberlin and new host Monty Long every Thursday night at 8 p.m. on VSU-TV, cable channel 11. So you see the Blazers and the Wildcats in their respective huddles trying to get things situated for this 3rd down and 15 call.
Coming out of the gates after halftime, the momentum was clearly in the Blazers' favor as they went into the half by denying a field goal that the Wildcats did attempt and keeping the shutout preserved for the Blazers, which is huge because you know Coach Hatcher wants his defense to keep that shutout. It's a momentum thing.
It's as much a momentum thing as it is a team thing. Showing to the other team, hey, we know you can't score on our defense, and we know that our offense can score on your defense.
Here the Blazers and Wildcats are lining up to come out of that timeout break.
Rashawn Robinson is now making his first appearance in the ball game, lining up at back.
Like we said, there is no specified starter. It's whoever's successful will keep getting some carries.
3rd and 15 for the Blazers. Jeffrey Felton out of your screen, lines up on the near side with Zach Parker. Cedric Jones to the far side. Ball is snapped. Here comes the blitz. Good job of picking it up by the Blazers until now, when Willie Copeland is just sandwiched by his former teammate Junior Taliali. And that's probably going to be another intentional grounding call on Willie Copeland.
And it's a good one. You saw he did not get outside of the line where he needed to be, and he threw the ball nowhere near any receivers.
The thing is, though, Dustin, on that play, as we see Coach Hatcher nodding his disapproval, the Blazer offensive line and backfield did a great job of picking up the blitz when it first came, but at the end, the blocking just tore down.
You're absolutely right on that, Neal. The Wildcat defense stuck with the blitz and gained deep penetration through the offensive line and put pressure on Copeland, who had to throw the ball away to avoid a sack.
4th down and 34 to go for the Blazers. As we see the GAs and players are very dissatisfied with how things went.
This is a decent punt to the All-American.
Stephen Wright gets the ball off, and then there you go, Rashad Moulton. He really has had nothing to work for all evening long.
But you don't know how many times you can kick the ball to him without him burning you with one.
Now let's see now. Here comes the Fort Valley State offense. Will head coach DeAndre Clark make the decision to put back in Zedrick West? I believe it's consensus between us two. You better do it.
West looked good. I mean, he was completing passes. He was hitting receivers. His one incompletion wasn't his fault. It hit his receiver right in the hand.
And indeed, Zedrick West will be called on to take the signal snaps for the Wildcats as they have a 1st down and 10 to go at their own 22-yard line. Clock again rolls because of those new rules. Down to 13 minutes and 3 seconds to go in the ball game. Zedrick West in the shotgun formation. 2 receivers to the far side, 1 receiver to the near side. Running back in motion. Cedric West takes the snap. It's going to be a draw play. I believe it's going to be a draw play.
Knighton again taking a pounding after getting past the offensive line. And, you know, right here we see on the replay, give him the ball again. And early on he was getting some leverage on the lineman. But this time he's taken down by a few Black Swarm defenders.
Steve Betros, the 5'11 sophomore out of Jacksonville, was the first Blazer on that play. And We've talked to Coach Anders there as we see him signaling the calls in. He loves this linebacking core. Tremendous athleticism, fascinating speed, and just an ability to pursue the ball at its best. 2nd down and 7 to go for Fort Valley State. Cedric West takes the snap, throws on the run. It's going to be intercepted. It's going to be intercepted by Chris Jones.
He's going all the way.
And he's
in there.
Score. Touchdown, Valdosta State. There is a Fort Valley State Wildcat who is shaken up on the play, but what an athletic achievement.
The junior Chris Jones here on the replay. The ball comes loose, and he sticks with it, bobbles it a few times, manages to get it into his hands. Chris Jones, the linebacker out of Jessup, Georgia, takes it all the way to the house here.
Look at this. Look at
the blocks upfield.
Look at the pursuit he has, and then look at the teammates he has.
That was just some great blocking by the Blazer defense to lead their man into the end zone. And we have an injured player on the play for
Nathaniel
the
Randall.
Wildcats. Oh, the wide receiver, Nathaniel Randall.
He was the one who had the ball pop out.
He got hit pretty hard there.
I think he took a lick.
I think that's an understatement, Neal.
I think he got popped. Here is Zachary Williams to attempt the extra point. It is up. It is good. So
Right
with
down the
12 minutes and 4 seconds to go, a turnover caused by the Black Swarm ends in 7 points for the Blazers. 21-0 Valdosta State with 12:04 to go in the 3rd quarter. For all the latest in national, state, and local news, catch News 11 in Focus each Thursday at 3 and 10 p.m. on VSU-TV. That's News 11 in Focus each Thursday at 3 and 10 on VSU-TV. Dustin, I think it's safe to say that the Blazers have definitely made their presence felt on Fort Valley State tonight.
Absolutely, and because the defense actually scored the touchdown there, now the offense for the Wildcats has to come right back out again after being tired, after running a few plays and not catch a breather.
Now, you can't credit that as a true interception because when Zedrick throws the ball to Randall like that, it hits him in the hands.
Again, West continues to hit his receivers in the hands, but things just don't work out for him. His stats do not show just how good he's been in the short amount of time he's been in the game.
Again, Rashad Knowlton and Xavier Glenn back to receive the kick from Chad Gallahan. 21-0 Blazers. Just minutes into the 3rd quarter of play here at Bazemore-Hyder Stadium. Gallahan kicks it off. It's a very decent kick, taking Xavier Glenn all the way back to the end zone. He's going to take it back, though. Might not have been the best decision as he makes some Blazers miss. But then the Blazers say, we've had enough of you. We're going to go ahead and sandwich you right now at the 19-yard line.
He gets it just about at the 20, where if he would have downed it in the end zone, he would have been anyway without all that work. Here's the replay. He receives the ball in the end zone. Probably should have downed it. Had to make a few cuts. Gets a good block here. However, he has too many defenders coming at him from the Blazers side and is eventually taken down at the 19-yard line.
Fort Valley State and its huddle in the sideline. They're one of the few teams we've seen who actually have their play called on the sideline and then come out and get in their formation there. 1st and 10 for the Wildcats on their own 20-yard line. Zedrick West again is back as a signal caller, and for our sake, let's hope the Blazers continue that pounding. West takes the snap, finds it almost intercepted again, and that time it was our buddy Kevin Bray, the D-back out of Greenville, Georgia, who almost came up with the 3rd interception on the night.
Just out of his fingertips there. The Blazer defense is really looking for another turnover. They really want to just pound the ball back in that end zone.
Fort Valley band supporting their team as best they can. Came down from Fort Valley, Georgia, along with about, I'd say, a good 1,000, 2,000 fans here.
A good amount of fans for a traveling team.
2nd and 10 for Fort Valley at their own 20-yard line. 2 receivers to the near side, 2 to the far side. West takes the snap. Nobody open. He's going to run, and he's going nowhere. Met on the play by Travis Harrison and looks like Gerald Davis, too.
Here, he dropped back to pass. I don't know if he ever was actually thinking pass. I think he was thinking run the entire time, but here he is stuffed, gets away from the defenders, gains minimal.
Credit the Black Swarm D-line for penetrating, and credit the Black Swarm secondary as a coverage sack as well.
And now it's 3rd and 8, and you have to expect a pass here as they're only around their 22-yard line.
We will see what Fort Valley does indeed. 3rd and 8. Shotgun formation, 4 receivers set. West takes the snap. That's going to be another sack on the play. Wow, what great job.
William Montfort again.
Nope, actually it's Steve Betros, the
Steve,
linebacker
sorry.
out of Jacksonville, Florida. I've called his name 2 or 3 other times here as we look. Watch, boom, right there. Actually, he's being blocked on the play by Joe Kegler, a senior from Columbus, Georgia, but managed to get away from that offensive line's hold on him. So now it brings up a 4th down and 8 from Fort Valley's 22-yard line. Sherrod Reynolds is back to receive the punt. It's a very nice kick. It's going to roll out of bounds, gets a nice friendly Fort Valley roll. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line for Valdosta State.
Now, the offense has had quite a breather, being that the defense just scored a touchdown and kept them off the field a little bit longer. You have to hope that Willie Copeland is still in the zone and he wants to put a few more points on that board, and he's not settled with keeping the score at 21-0.
I have been very impressed with the overall team performance that the Blazers have showed tonight. They did have their moments in the first quarter where the execution and the play calling just didn't seem up to par for a Chris Hatcher-led ball club. But here we are, 21-0, 9:43 to go in the ball game. 2 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side for Willie Copeland. Takes the snap, going to be a draw play. Michael Terry makes a move on his feet, churning to the 36-yard line. A good 6-yard run for the junior out of Americus.
Here we see Terry refusing to go down on the first hit and gaining a few extra yards for the Blazer offense, who have established a decent running game here in the second half. Michael Terry looks very, very good out of the backfield, as has Chad Bryan in this game.
Chris Murray on the near side. Tyler Arndt, Derek Tharp, and Cedric Jones on the far side for Willie Copeland. Another draw play to Michael Terry. Pushes aside junior Taliali. Looks like it's going to be close to a Blazer 1st down.
Terry continues to be very good out of the backfield, not going down again on first contact, gaining a few extra yards and making a lot out of his plays.
It is, in fact, going to be a Blazer 1st down at the 40-yard line. What is this? It appears like that wrong formations might be called in, wrong players might be called in, but Willie Copeland is getting that situated as quickly as he can. He has time, 14 seconds on the play clock. Clock is running at 8:32 to go in the 3rd quarter. 2 receivers to the near side. It's going to be another draw play to Michael Terry.
Terry
Look out.
again.
Burst of speed. Wow, that man is just constantly improving his game. Another 5-yard gain out to the 45-yard line. 2nd down and 5.
Here Terry comes and goes to the other side, and look at that again. Again, gains a few extra yards, and that means a lot for this offense because now it's 2nd and 5 on the 45-yard line for him.
If he makes junior Taliali an all-SIAC performer miss on his first attempt at a tackle, he's got to be good.
And it's smart coaching by Coach Hatcher because as long as he runs the ball, the clock continues to run.
7:50 and counting here in the 3rd quarter of play as Willie Copeland takes the snap. Looking deep, has a man.
That has to be pass interference.
There we go. There's a flag. Derek Tharp, just too much of an athlete that Jawad Payne cannot keep track of him. And, I mean,
not even just a little bit of contact, Neal. That was a lot of contact downfield, way beyond the buffer zone.
We saw it up here in the booth, and there was just pushing. Not on Derek Tharp's part, but just on Jawad Payne's part. And obviously, Payne was like, I'm not going to let you take this, so we'll give you 15 yards the easy way.
And that's as good as a reception for the Blazers to now move deeper downfield. They'll probably go back to the run here as they had their big play just there and run that clock out until Fort Valley State can prove that they can put some points up on the board.
Clock will stop here at 7:43 with a 1st and 10 on the Fort Valley 40-yard line. Snap to Copeland. Look out for the blitz. It's a little shovel pass. Great play calling there by Chris Hatcher, maybe not even called by Coach Hatcher.
Could have been a little improvisation on the part of one Willie Copeland right there.
Because when Copeland saw the white jerseys of Fort Valley State coming calling, he was like, I better get this ball off in a hurry.
Gave it right to Rashawn Robinson, who really didn't do anything with it except lose a yard, but avoided a sack.
I'll take a 1-yard loss compared to a 6-yard loss any day of the week.
There could have been a fumble as well if Copeland held on to the ball. So it was a smart play. We lost yards, but it's helping the Blazers move downfield.
2nd and 11 from the Fort Valley 41-yard line. Copeland takes the snap. Here comes the blitz. Junior Talialo again. That is the 4th time that Talialu has gotten in the backfield and disrupted his former teammate, Willie Copeland.
Talialu seems to be all over the place, and he seems to be the main aggressive player on the Wildcat side of the defensive football.
Well, there's a reason why that man is all Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference performer.
Absolutely, I can't agree. I could not agree with you anymore, Neal.
We're both struggling with words here. SIAC.
There aren't many words to describe the kind of play he's performing with right now.
3rd and 22 from the 48-yard line of Valdosta State. Copeland takes the snap. Blitz again. He is struggling. He won't get away as he is pulled down to the turf by Ivan Diggs, the free safety out of Newport News, Virginia. And that will bring up a 4th down punt situation for the Blazers.
Great penetration by the Wildcats here. They have Copeland running all over the place and eventually do bring him down. He tucked the ball at the last second, but that ball was hanging out there in his extended left arm for a while and could have been knocked loose. Luckily for the Blazers, he held on.
Copeland might want to hang on to that ball, as you said. Fumble there would have put the Fort Valley State Wildcats right back in this ball game.
And the defense has gotten a nice breather as they've spent a good portion of time on the sidelines, and they can come out and try to stop that Fort Valley running game.
Stephen Wright and to punt the ball away. Good snap. Decent kick. Very high spiral. Rashad Moulton calls for the fair catch. And it's going to take a Valdosta State bounce inside the 10-yard line, and it will be downed at the 9.
The ball is spotted at the 10-yard line.
For your weekly dose of nostalgia, listen to Lest We Forget as Skip Gildersleeve brings a past to life. WVVS 90.9 FM Blaze FM celebrates over 30 years of music on the edge every Sunday at 9 p.m. until midnight. For requests, call 333-5661.
And it looks like number 13, Nathaniel Samus, will come into the game at quarterback. Kind of an odd move considering West really did not play bad.
It wasn't West who played bad, it was his surrounding cast.
And he's just a freshman now coming into the game, Samus.
1st and 10 for the Wildcats, and immediately he is stuffed behind the line by the dollar man, the money man, Lavaris Dollar in there with a loss. The tackle for a loss, as we see here, right there. Dollar and Fabian Wiley, I mean, 2 of the studdest linebackers you will ever see. 2nd down and 12 now for Fort Valley at their own 8-yard line with 4 minutes, 38 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter of play. Fort Valley State getting their play call in from head coach DeAndre Clark in his 1st year at Fort Valley State after playing football, I believe, at Florida State.
He was a 1992 graduate from the Seminoles.
2nd and 13.
Looks like a botched snap. Oh, no.
No, doesn't look like a botched snap. It looks like a quarterback sneak into a quarterback run for about 5 yards on the play.
Maybe they went away from West being that he's a junior and going with a new quarterback here who the ball was on the ground there. I don't know if that was planned or not. He comes around here, Samus, and he picks up a couple yards, but I'm still questioning this move, taking West out of the game. Maybe they think he's the future of their program. I don't know.
The crowd and the cheerleaders very active in tonight's ball game. It's kind of taken a little turn of things here. Instead of the high action and fast-paced 2nd quarter we saw, it's quickly down to less than 4 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. 3rd and 9 for the Wildcats at their own 11-yard line. And he is scrambling, and he's down. Samus is sacked on the play by Lavaris Dollar, the money man. And Dollar is one of those players that, as a freshman last year, just was so quick and so athletic.
Samus is looking for someone The freshman gets met by Dollar at about the 2 or 3 yard line, and now they will go into the punt formation in their end zone. If this gets blocked, this could be a huge play for the Blazers.
Snap is good. Punt is almost blocked by Maurice Leggett. Sherrod Reynolds takes it at the 37-yard line, makes a player miss, almost broke free, but he is tackled down at the 27-yard line by Michael Brown.
Not to take anything away from the Blazer Black Swarm defense, but it just seems like the Wildcats cannot get anything going offensively. The Blazer defense has played very, very well, don't get me wrong, but that offense for the Wildcats cannot seem to get any consistency going in their play. And now with a freshman at quarterback instead of a junior, I don't know how much consistency we're going to see from that quarterback the rest of the game.
Fort Valley State looks like they're kind of playing a little bit sluggish here, as we have a 1st down and 10 for the Blazers at the Fort Valley State 27-yard line. Willie Copeland still in at quarterback, 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Copeland takes a snap, looks deep, has a man. It's Derek Tharp, and he drops a touchdown. Or does it?
No, he dropped it. He dropped that ball. It went right off his fingertips. He never had possession of that. He had about a half a step on his defender and came across the inside, and the defender had his back turned to the ball. Tharp probably should have made the catch, but the Blazers do have a few more chances here.
Tharp took his eye off the ball. He was looking at that end zone and saying, here it is, an easy 6.
It's quite possible, Neal, that he looked up and got a little touchdown happen.
And he forgot the most important part.
Catch the ball.
Catch the ball. So instead of a 27-0 lead, it's a 2nd down and 10 for the Blazers at their own 27-yard line. And don't get Willie Copeland wrong. He threw a remarkable pass on that play. Copeland takes the snap, feels the pressure, avoids it, now on the run. 20, 15, down at the 15-yard line. Tackle made by Ivan Diggs.
Smart play by the quarterback, Willie Copeland there. He didn't have much to work with downfield. Here we see him drop back. A good block by his lines, right, by 2 offensive linemen, a missed tackle. And Copeland manages to scramble with some big holes downfield to the 15-yard line.
Scott Palmer, the pain train, was there to help provide some blocking there. As Coach Chris Hatcher looks on, signals in his calls to the offense. Zach Park on the near side. Derek Tharp in motion. Cedric Jones to the far side for Willie Copeland. 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line. Copeland feeling the heat, and he's going to be sacked for either the 5th or 6th time on tonight's ballgame. And Coach Hatcher is furious. His visor is off. He is so upset with the way his offensive line is blocking.
Free safety Ivan Diggs comes way out of the secondary to bring down Copeland here, and just a good play by Ivan Diggs, the junior out of Newport News, Virginia.
Coach Hatcher has taken his headset off. Now he puts it back on. He is not very pleased with how this offensive line has protected Willie Copeland tonight. Copeland behind center for the first time all night. And it appears we've got
too many men on the field.
Timeout on Valdosta State. Look at Coach Hatcher. He is very, very annoyed with how his offense is looking.
The Blazers are making mental mistakes, and mental mistakes are just unexcusable. Physical mistakes are one thing, but mental mistakes are unexcusable.
We will come back with the final 1 minute, 14 seconds here of the 3rd quarter, right here on VSU-TV after this.
You'd think it would be easy to tell which kids have trouble with their eyesight.
Here, kitty, kitty. Here, kitty, kitty.
But that's not always the case. Even though 1 in 4 children may have a vision problem, eye doctors tell us the symptoms aren't always so obvious. For clues on how to spot the real-life signs of childhood vision problems, visit checkyearly.com. A public service message from the Vision Council of America, and reading is fundamental.
Welcome back here on VSU-TV. 1 minute, 14 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. 21-0 Valdosta State. Faced with a 2nd and 19 from their own 25, from the Fort Valley 25-yard line. Copeland puts it up, has a man out there, and it's intended for Derek Tharp. And again, a little bit happy on that pass play. On that pass is Willie Copeland.
Good coverage there, though. Tharp had a man on him, and then he had a man in zone coverage. He dropped back to help out, and I don't know if the throw would have been on target if Tharp really would have made that catch.
Coach Hatcher a little bit disappointed at how his offense has been running. here lately on this drive. A couple of sacks, a couple of missed catches, a couple of missed points.
Michael Terry back in at running back.
3rd and 19 for the Blazers at the Fort Valley 25-yard line. Snap is clean. Willie Copeland takes a snap back. Going deep. Has a man. Instead, it is almost intercepted. Confusement there on the Blazer wide receivers on which routes they were running.
Pass was broken up by Eddie Young, and Cedric Jones just stopped on that play. I don't know if there was some confusion. Watch number 13, Willie Copeland, the quarterback, drop back here. He's throwing for Cedric Jones, but Jones is nowhere to be found. He stopped during his route to the ball, and the ball is almost picked off by 2 defenders, mainly number 31, Eddie Young.
Fort Valley State is blitzing almost every time they can to disrupt Willie Copeland. Zachary Williams now in to attempt a 43-yard field goal. It's up, and it is right down the middle. 43-yard field goal is good. So with 56.2 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter, Valdosta State is now up 24-0 on Fort Valley State. For all the latest in national, state, and local news, catch News 11 in Focus every Thursday at 3 and 10 p.m. on VSU-TV. That's News 11 in Focus, Thursdays at 3 and 10 on VSU-TV. Are you surprised at all about how much Fort Valley State is blitzing Willie Copeland?
I think they know something we don't. I think they know his weaknesses, and I think they're trying to exploit them. However, early on, he has not made any mistakes that have turned into turnovers.
Which is good.
Which is good for the Blazer offense. However, I don't know how much longer he can go with that kind of pressure on him and not making any mistakes.
All that I have to say is let's hope that other opponents of Valdosta State doesn't see how aggressive and blitz-happy Fort Valley State is against Valdosta State.
And it all starts with junior, I can't say his last name.
Taliali?
Taliali? Taliali sounds good. I mean, he's the heart and soul. He's the heart and soul of that defense. He's getting in every time.
As Dick Vitale would say, he's a PTPer. Even though wrong sport, I can still use the same acronym.
It still works.
Rashad Moulton and Xavier Glenn are back to receive the kickoff from Chad Gallahan. It's deep. Glenn takes it 1 yard deep in his end zone. He's got some blockers, and he's got a lane, but there's a flag on the play. Looks like it might be a block in the back.
That's what I'm thinking too.
State.
I think it was a block in the back. Let's see what the oh, it looks like maybe it's a hold.
We'll get the call from our ref, and I must say, tonight, the refs have done a very good job.
Good officiating. Let's see what the call is.
I haven't been upset. There's maybe one call that I can remember.
Nothing major, though.
Exactly. Good officiating by this Gulf South Conference call. We believe it is, in fact, holding on Fort Valley State. It will be half the distance to the goal. So from the 15-yard line, the ball will be placed at the 7-yard line with 44 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Fort Valley State will take its possession and has a 1st and 10 at their own 7-yard line. Clock will roll. New rule is in the NCAA says that on a change of possession, when the ball is marked ready for play, the clock will start. 30 seconds to go in the
Marcus
quarter.
Brooks is back in at quarterback, the man who started the game.
What is DeAndre Clark thinking?
I don't understand this whole quarterback by committee thing. You can't get a flow going.
Shotgun formation. Pass is going to be well short of his intended receiver, which was Chancey Hall.
I don't understand this. I really like the way that Zedrick West was playing. He's a junior. He's arguably the most experienced, being that he's the oldest of the bunch. I don't understand why you would change quarterbacks and mess with the chemistry of your offense in the middle of a game like that.
And you saw the way he moved Fort Valley down before halftime. Very bad misfortunes meant they couldn't get any points from the board, but anyway, they find themselves down 24-0. Shotgun formation, and down
at the one.
Goes. And look who it is. It's our buddy Sherrard Reynolds on the sack.
Seems to be all over the place this week, showing that speed off right here as Brooks doesn't even see him coming to the last second. He brings him down at the 1-yard line. Big play, Sherrard Reynolds, as we go into the 4th quarter.
That is the end of the 3rd quarter here at Bazemore-Hyder Stadium with your score. Valdosta State 24, Fort Valley State nothing. We'll come back with the final quarter of play after this. You're watching VSU football on VSU-TV.
Hello, I'm Paul Newman. America is the land of the free and the home of the brave. But we can't forget those who made it that way. Men and women who sacrificed life and limb to protect our freedom. For more than 80 years, the Disabled American Veterans has been committed to building better lives for disabled veterans and their families. If you want to help the men and women who fought for our freedom, contact the Disabled American Veterans today.
Like a plague, poverty infects half the world's people. It's a ruthless killer, striking innocent children and their families. But there is a cure, and it's in your hands. Through CARE, you can help communities permanently recover from poverty, because CARE targets the source of the problem, not just the symptoms. That's a cure that can last a lifetime. CARE, where the end of poverty begins.
Hey, we tried all.
Don't tell me to calm down. I hate that.
Stop acting like an animal. You're in public.
I will knock you into next week. Stop it. No, I'm not going to stop it. That's it. We are leaving
Acting like an
right
animal.
now. We are leaving right now. Get up. Stand up. I said now. I said we're leaving.
Welcome back here on VSU-TV as we present coverage of Blazer football. Fourth quarter just about to start here with the Blazers up 24-0 on their intrastate rival, the Fort Valley State Wildcats. 3rd and 15 from the 2-yard line. Here comes the blitz. Fort Valley State picks it up, throws on the run. It is incomplete. Fort Valley State wanted a pass interference call, but I don't think it's going to matter because that would have been ruled an uncatchable pass.
It was not only was it an uncatchable pass, Neal, but it was just some incidental contact. They both turned for the ball at the same time and made a little bit of contact.
Another time where Fort Valley State is forced to punt from their end zone. And comes Zane Grubbs? Jake Grubbs.
And they don't have much room to work with here as a block punt could actually happen here because it's a shorter distance than usual.
High snap, but still gets it off, so Rod Reynolds will let it bounce until take it at the 50. Here we go, see Mr. Explosive, nice block. Oh, they're gonna call that an illegal block in the back.
Good call by the referees there. It was an illegal block.
It's either an illegal block in the back or a clipping call. But from what I saw, on the far side of the field, it was a shoulder block. He put his shoulder into him. Up here at the booth, we have no idea what this call is going to be. We have holding, we have block in the back, we have clipping. Let's see what our referee says the penalty is going to be. It is going to be a holding call, so our producer was in fact right. Looks like the ball will be marked at the VSU 44-yard line while the Blazers will take over possession in their first possession of the fourth quarter. Every Thursday from 8 to 10 p.m., listen to WVBS 90.9 Blaze FM for the X's and O's show. AMAC, Big Red, Fat Flyer, and Tall B bring you Valdosta's only rock talk sports radio program. 6 years on the air and continuing strong. Call in with your sports opinions at 333-5661. The X's and O's show. Jock talk without the itch.
And the clock is running as the refs have signaled the ball in play, and Copeland drops back here.
He's going deep. Tries to find a man. Instead
throws
an
interception.
Picked off.
Ivan Diggs again with another big play for that Wildcat defense.
Willie Copeland has been throwing off his back foot all day. He's been throwing into coverage, and sometimes he's gotten it, but not this time.
Here we see Copeland drop back with a little bit of pressure on him, throws the ball to his receiver, but underthrows him, and the D-back makes a nice play to get the interception.
Dustin, it is extremely hard to underthrow 6'5" Zach Parker.
It's hard, but Copeland managed to do it, and give Diggs credit because that's the second big play he's made in this half for the Wildcat defense.
So a little bit of hope still shines down on the Wildcats of Fort Valley State, but they're going to have to get going, and they're going to have to hurry up and do it. 13:46 to go in the final quarter, out of I formation. Handoff is to Rashad Moulton, and he goes nowhere. In fact, he loses a yard on the play thanks to great defense penetration.
I have to question why Coach Hatcher early here in the fourth quarter would be throwing a deep ball there instead of killing the clock and running the ball to finish out the game.
That's Coach Hatcher. I mean, there's nothing more I can say except passing.
He has the rings to back up what he does. I'll give him.
Absolutely.
It's true. That one specific play, I just don't understand why you would throw the ball deep here when you could kill the clock.
2nd down and 11 for the Wildcats. 13:08 and counting to go in this last quarter of play. Marcus Brooks behind center. Takes a snap.
Got some pressure on him.
The pressure. Throws on the run. It's going to be caught on the play by Marcus Bentley across midfield. No, just stopped shy of midfield at the VSU 49-yard line.
A lot of the linebackers on the Black Swarm defense were coming in on the play here. And it put pressure on Brooks to make a play. And because the linebackers were gone, in the middle of the play, the receivers were open. And Brooks managed to make something out of nothing. He probably could have just ran out of bounds. He still looked up and found his receiver wide open in the middle of the field.
Shotgun formation for Fort Valley. 1st and 10, their own 49-yard line. Brooks takes off, feels the pressure, and he's going to be sacked again. This time he's going to be sacked by number 91, the preseason all-conference performer, Big Kelvin Roberts.
Just more pressure on Brooks, and you have to wonder where Zedrick West is with those quick feet of his and the quick decision-making.
Kelvin Roberts taking over. As many VSU fans know, number 91 belonged to the former All-American Tim Thompson. Now Kelvin Roberts is now taking in the reins as the leader of this defensive set for the Blazers. 2nd down, 14 to go for Fort Valley.
Jamel Daniels in on this play
Blazers
now.
showing blitz. Flag on the play. That's going to be incomplete, intended for Nathaniel Randall, who's back in the game after injuring himself last quarter. There is a flag on the play thrown at the 44-yard line. Let's see what it is.
Flag on the line of scrimmage. Could be an offsides or encroachment penalty on the Blazers.
Our referee will let us know. It is indeed encroachment on the Blazers, which means it's a 5-yard penalty. It will be 2nd down and 9 to go from the 50-yard line for the Fort Valley State Wildcats.
And even with a 24-point lead, Coach Chris Hatcher cannot be happy with a penalty when he's trying to just stop the ball from getting into the end zone now.
Exactly. He doesn't want to score in the fourth quarter. He wants a shutout and a great victory heading into practice next week. 2nd and 9 for the Wildcats. Brooks takes the ball behind snap. Pressure coming. Oh, no. They had a sack, except the Blazers fell into each other.
2 Blazer defenders, both with possible sack opportunities there, ran directly into each other.
Instead, here, look at this.
Brooks drops back here, and right there you see at the middle of your screen there.
46 and 47. Steve Betros and Travis Harrison each had an opportunity to make a sack on Marcus Brooks, except they sack each other.
They were in each other's way, that's all.
3rd down and 2 now for Fort Valley at the Blazer 43-yard line. 11:15 to go in the fourth quarter. Brooks in the shotgun, 2 receivers to the near side, 1 receiver to the far side. Takes a snap, hands off to Rashawn Walton. Look out.
He has some speed. Brings it to about the 28-yard line. Good gain by the All-American kick returner, showing some nice moves there out of the running back position.
All-American kick returner / receiver / running back. Look at that block. I want to point out that block made by number 74, Alex Joyner, the senior offensive lineman out of Vidalia, Georgia. You can't run unless you have your offensive line blocking up field for him.
Games are won in the trenches, Neal, and those linemen are in the trenches fighting a war.
Ball is snapped to Brooks. Tries to go over the middle. Instead, it is incomplete, intended for Jarrell Hall, his tight end out of Americus, Georgia. And even if he were to catch that ball, he would have been met promptly by Greg Petty, the free safety out of Fayetteville, Georgia.
And luckily for number 36, Petty, he did not make any real hard contact with the receiver after the play, which could have led to a personal foul on him and the ball moving even further down into the Blazer red zone.
2nd and 10 to go for Fort Valley. Marcus Brooks still in as a signal caller.
Not really getting the deep ball going as we saw in the first half.
Takes the snap. 3-step drop. Look out. hit on the play, but he completes the pass to Nathaniel Randall for a good-sized gain. And it will be a 1st down and 10 for Fort Valley.
And Randall is their go-to guy. It seems every single play. Brooks drops back, has a lot of pressure on him again from the Black Swarm. Finds Daniel, who puts on a few moves to gain a few extra yards here before he's brought down by a few Blazer defenders.
Jamal Clark, the freshman linebacker out of Jonesboro, Georgia, was the man who put that pressure on him. Another freshman means good things are in store for the future of VSU football. 1st and 10 for the Wildcats at the VSU 20-yard line. Handoff is
Brooks
not to
keeps
Rashard Moulton. Brooks keeps it. Wow, even I was confused.
He went right around that 4-3 defense Coach Hatcher was going out with at that time.
There we see the Fort Valley State band making noise for their team. 5-yard play brings up 2nd down and 5 for the Wildcats in the Blazer 15-yard line. Let's see if the Black Swarm can keep it up and keep the Wildcats out of the end zone again. I know I would like to see that. Shotgun formation again for the Wildcats. Brooks, bad snap, throws the ball on the run, finds Moulton, who slips and falls. I don't think it would have mattered because Michael Cohen would have been there to smash his face into the turf.
That's a good call, Neal. And he slipped. It's not like we're playing in any deep grass like the Blazers did last week in Albany. We're playing on true turf here. And this field is maintained because you don't have to maintain it. It's turf. So he can't blame that on the grounds crew here.
In case you were unfamiliar, this is not VSU Stadium. We share it with the Valdosta High School Wildcats. A little bit of tidbit information out there in case you can't tell. 3rd and 6 for Fort Valley State. 9 minutes to go in the game. Snap tipped, almost intercepted, but a great job adjusting to the pass by Marcus Bentley, the wide receiver out of Barnesville, Georgia.
Good recovery here. Good recovery here by Bentley when Brooks drops back, turns completely around to throw the ball. It's tipped as he releases, and he's brought down by Robinson, and I could not see the other defender.
Now, Dustin, why are you going for a field goal? You need a lot of points in a lot of hurry.
They may be going for a fake field goal with their quarterback in right there, and number 9, Knighton in at the wideout.
They're not. Instead, they are going to kick a field goal, and Grubbs just makes it right down the middle.
He's a good kicker, and he continues to show why he was all conference for them.
And the Fort Valley State Wildcat faithful show their support because with 8:20 to go, they finally get on the board. Valdosta State 24, Fort Valley State 3. The VSU Counseling Center and Miss Leah McMillan will present Overcoming Speech Anxiety this Thursday, September 14th from 4 to 5 in the Camilla Room located in Valdosta State's University Union. For more information, please call 333-5940. Dustin, you can't argue with a performance like this for Valdosta State. Good on offense, good on defense, good on special teams.
While the stats and the score would indicate that the Black Swarm has dominated on their side of the ball and the air raid has dominated on their side, it has been a little sloppy for the Blazers, but it's understandable. It's only the 2nd game of the year, and they're still warming up to playing real games instead of playing scrimmages.
Jake Grubbs gets set to kick it off. Look out for the onside kick if you're Coach Chris Hatcher here. And there is a kick. It is not onside. It is driven deep downfield.
Deion Williams back to receive it into his end zone.
He's taking it back. Look out, folks. He can fly at the 30. Tripped up at the 30. Man, if he had just beaten that last tackle, he would have gone a long way. There is the player who was shaken up for Fort Valley. It is number 11, DeBargia Kofer, a free safety out of Washington, Georgia.
Here you see Williams coming out of the end zone and make a few juke moves on some defenders, get some good blocking, and he comes around and is eventually taking down at the 32-yard line.
We're going to take a break here on VSU-TV. We'll come back with the final 8 minutes of play after this.
25 years, 5 Gulf South Conference championships, 30 All-Americans, more than 100 All-Conference players, and the 2004 National Championship. Valdosta State Blazer football. Blazer season tickets are now available in the BSU Athletic Department, or you can call 333-5890. Join this fall's Silver Celebration as your Blazers celebrate 25 years of building championship football. Call 333-5890.
Welcome back here on VSU-TV. 7:50 to go in the fourth quarter. 24-3 Valdosta State as they are back on offense at their own 32-yard line. Willie Copeland takes the snap, but instead it looked like it might be a delay of game call on the Blazers. And Chris Hatcher, again, he is 2 steps on the field in very much upsetness, if that's even a word. He is upset a lot over the Blazer.
He's so upset he's calling a timeout right now here in the fourth quarter.
No, he's not calling a timeout because the team called a timeout on his behalf because they were going to lose yards. So,
again, mental mistakes. You can't make them. Coach Hatcher is a stickler for mental mistakes. He wants his team to play good football.
But at the same time, it is 24-3. So it's not going to be the end of the world if you do make a penalty. But Chris Hatcher is like, don't do anything stupid.
No, you can't.
That's his philosophy.
You can't go out there thinking it's 24-3. As a football player, you're thinking it's 0-0 all the time. And you're fighting in the trenches, as I said before, to try to get that ball back.
First and 10
to score.
First and 10 for the Blazers on their own 32-yard line. Cedric Jones to the near side. Zach Parker and Derek Tharp to the far side. There you see Willie Copeland getting ready to start the play off right for the VSU Blazers.
Jones has been kind of quiet in the second half here.
But he's made some phenomenal catches in this game. Shotgun formation, snap, fake off to Terry.
No,
Copeland's gonna keep it, and he's taken down at the 42-yard line. I saw that, and the cameras didn't.
I could have sworn Michael Terry had the ball. When I looked up again, Willie Copeland was running right down the gut.
Thank goodness I have good eyesight, even with these glasses on, or I would have said Michael Terry too. First and 10 for Valdosta State on their own 43-yard line. 7:22 to go and counting down in this final quarter of play. Willie Copeland going up to the line, signaling in an audible from the sidelines. Cedric Jones on the far side, on the near side. Tyler Arndt, Zach Parker, and Derek Tharp to the far side.
Trying to cause some confusion now for that defense.
They're trying to waste some time. Snap, give this to Michael Terry. He breaks free. Still moving, still churning past the first down marker all the way into Wildcat territory before he is taken down at the 47-yard line.
Incredible run there by Michael Terry. Transferred here last season. Comes here, does not go down again on initial contact. Breaks through there, keeps fighting, and gets a little help there from number 56, Gerald Davis.
Jamal Phillips, a linebacker out of Atlanta, Georgia from Fort Valley, was holding on for dear life, and Michael Terry was like trying to shove him off.
He said, come along for the ride because I'm taking you to first down.
Like the bus. I like the bus. First and 10 for the Blazers at the Fort Valley 47-yard line. Shotgun formation again for Willie Copeland. He's going to melt that clock down to as much little time as he can. Snap, give it to Terry again. Look out, and he is met hard this time.
But he keeps fighting again and gains a little more yards than he should have.
I have been very impressed with the way Michael Terry and Chad Bryant have played for the first 2 games.
Here we see Terry out of the shotgun get the handoff, and he goes right up the middle where he's met by number 54, Jamal Phillips, a linebacker from Atlanta, Georgia. And last year we saw Terry have a lot of success out of the I formation. This season he's out of the shotgun, and he continues to have the same success.
Teddy Morris, the offensive line, the freshman out of Fairburn, Georgia, was doing a very good job of blocking downfield on that play, as we are now under 5:45 to play in the final quarter of play here at Bazemore-Hyder Stadium. 24-3, Valdosta State ahead of Fort Valley State. Blitz is on. Terry picks it up. He's got blockers.
Big block by Scott Palmer, the fullback, on that play to lead the way for Michael Terry.
You know what we like to call Scott Palmer in the VSU Mass Media Department?
What's that, Neal?
The Pain Train.
I
think that's a very appropriate nickname. Look at this.
Terry comes upfield, and Palmer absolutely lays out a defender. You see him laying on the ground after he'd put his defender into the ground, and Terry picks up a few yards, and now it's 2nd and 5 on the Wildcat 42-yard line.
First and 10 on the Wildcat 32-yard line. You were close.
I'm sorry, first
you were
and 10.
5 yards off. Terry again in the shotgun formation. Cedric Jones to the near side. Zach Parker, Derek Tharp to the far side. Scott Palmer, Michael Terry in the backfield. Play clock at 2, 1, ball snap, give us to Terry. Lots of speed, lots of room. Down to the 26-yard line. This Blazer offensive line, it's getting better and better as the game goes on.
Just like last week, here we see a big hole for Michael Terry to run through, and he again picks up a few yards and continues to establish that Blazer running game.
Uh-oh, looks like Cedric Jones is limping off the field right now.
That is Copeland's #1 target. You have to hope that he is all right.
We will get you an injury update as soon as we hear more on the status of Cedric Jones. There you see him on the sideline trying to keep pressure off that leg. 4:21 to go in the ball game. Raymond Thomas takes Cedric Jones' position on the near side. Zach Parker, Derek Tharp to the far side. Play clock down. This time, Chad Bryant's got nowhere to go.
Bryant
Diggs.
He is absolutely stuffed by Ivan Diggs and also number 99, Cedric Cox, the lineman out of Flint, Michigan.
You mean Michigan?
Michigan. Oh, but there's a flag on the play, Neal. This one may mean new life for the Blazers.
We'll check out what our referee has to say. It looks like the center for the Blazers, number 50, Davis Russell, is signaling, hey, it's going against them.
Barrett Wilkes is now seeing time at quarterback. He was the quarterback, of course, last season, had some shoulder surgery in the offseason, lost his job when Willie Copeland transferred here, and it looks like Wilkes is going to get a few plays in.
That's good. It's good to see Barrett Wilkes back in the ball game.
And it was a personal foul on the Wildcat defense, so the Blazer offense is now moving up 5 yards.
There you see Barrett Wilkes, the senior out of Lowndes High here in Valdosta, Georgia. Was the starting quarterback in 2003, was the starting quarterback in 2005. So it's not like he doesn't know what he's doing heading up the Blazer offense.
Don't expect him to throw the ball, however, as the Blazers are looking to milk that clock.
I wouldn't be surprised if Hatcher says throw to get Barrett some looks. Ball's handoff. Chad Bryant, look out. Ooh, that should be a face mask.
I don't know, it might not have been a face mask. He could have been brought down by the chest part of his shoulder pads.
Well, on that tackle,
here Wilkes gives it off to Bryant, who has a huge room to run through up the gut. And yet he is brought down by the shoulder pad, not the face mask. That is a good call by the referees.
Usually when you see that, your initial thought is, but the way his body twists and turns, it's a face mask. Second down and 1 now for the Blazers.
And Scott Palmer back in the game, so that means he will be clearing room most likely for Chad Bryant, who is at running back right now.
Second and 1 for the Blazers at the Fort Valley 6-yard line. Now the handoff is to Palmer. He's going to push. He's going to try and get in the end zone. Look at that. It takes 5 Wildcat defenders to get Palmer down, and that is what you call a big-time performer.
Now, we can't see from here as to whether or not Palmer got the oh, he did get the first down as it's being signaled for here in the stadium.
First down and goal to go for the Blazers at the Fort Valley 3-yard line.
And that clock is ticking, Neal. It keeps ticking away.
2:40 to go here in the final quarter of play here at Bazemore-Hyder Stadium. 24-3, Valdosta State with the lead. 2 receivers to the near side. 1 receiver to the far side for Barrett Wilkes. Handoff is to Chad Bryant, and he's going nowhere. He's actually going to lose some yards all the way back to the 10-yard line.
Chad Bryant with the carry.
But with every second that clock ticks away, the hopes of making a comeback for the Wildcats start to disintegrate.
Oh, you know what, Dustin? I'm just going to go ahead and say it now.
You're going to go out on a limb?
I think this game is over.
Tyler Arndt is now in the game, lining up in the slot. Maybe Barrett Wilkes is going to look for Arndt into the end zone at this next coming play.
We'll see. It'd be good to see how Barrett has recovered from his surgery. As clock is winding down, 1 minute, 45 seconds to go in the game. Handoff is going to be kept by Barrett Wilkes, and it's a touchdown.
And he runs it in himself. Barrett Wilkes with a smart decision as everyone on the Wildcat defense bought the play fake there.
As there you see, push-ups are being made by Valdosta State faithful out there in the stands. I think I recognize him, actually. He is. I know him.
You would, Neal. You would.
Here comes Zachary Williams into attempt, the point after attempt.
Who's been perfect thus far today, unlike last week with Chad Gallahan's experiences with the kicking game.
Here's the snap. Kick is away. It is up, and it is good. So with 1:40 to go in the fourth quarter of play, Valdosta State increases their lead to 31-3 over the Fort Valley State Wildcats. VSU-TV would like to thank General Manager Brian Corley and Assistant Manager Jessica McKinley of Papa John's on Bemis Road for providing the pizza for tonight's crew doing the VSU-TV coverage. Thanks again, Papa John's on Bemis Road. There you see our cheerleaders getting all 31 push-ups in, or so they say, all 31 push-ups in.
I don't know. That's a lot of push-ups to be doing. Good thing up here in the booth, you and me don't have to do any push-ups, Neal.
It is very slow right now at Bazemore-Hyder Stadium. We all know the verdict of what's going to happen tonight, but Dustin, you can't say enough for what Fort Valley State did. They came in and they showed the Blazers they could play in the first half, but both of us have said leading up to this game this week, in the end, the strength, the athleticism, the bench, and the talent will prevail in this game for the Blazers.
Unfortunately, they could not get their bread and butter running system going for the Wildcats, and therefore could not develop any passing game whatsoever, and that just killed any hopes of their offense making a comeback in the second half.
Chad Gallahan is set to kick it off. Looks like we've got some new people back there to receive it for Fort Valley State. It's going to be a little pooch kick. It's going to be taken at the 22-yard line by number 25, Craig Thomas, who was tackled at the 33-yard line.
Now that Black Swarm defense comes out with, looks like some new personnel up on the line.
Probably a little bit of the second team is being called out now for the Blazer defense, and probably the Fort Valley offense as well, because DeAndre Clark is probably thinking, well, I gave it my all, but I don't think we're going to be able to pull out a miracle finish tonight.
Looks like Mike Gonzalez and Desrick Duggar will get some action in on the defensive line.
Clock is continuing to roll. 1 minute, 17 seconds to go. Marcus Brooks back in at quarterback for Fort Valley State. 5 wide receivers set for the Wildcats. Snap to Brooks. It's a fumbled snap. He just managed to get possession on it. That would have been a very bad way for Fort Valley to end tonight's coverage.
And tick, tick, tick. The play clock is running.
Less than a minute to go here in the contest at Bazemore-Hyder Stadium. Valdosta State came out, slow start, but got in gear in the second quarter and just continued to pour it on as we now are under 40 seconds to go in the fourth quarter of play. Snap to Brooks, looks deep, is being pressured, throws on the run, complete to Nathaniel Randall, out of bounds at the 35-yard line. That will stop the clock at exactly 34 seconds to go.
Randall made a really nice catch there, managing to slide 1 foot into the field of play. But there is a flag on the play. Let's see who this goes against.
We have seen way too many yellow pieces of cloth tonight.
I totally agree, Neal. Sloppy, sloppy.
But then again, Dustin, it is only the second game of the year.
They're still getting the kinks out of both lines.
Like you said, Dustin.
Contact to the head on the Blazer defense. You have to understand that Matt Gonzalez wanted to make a statement, finally seeing time in the game with 34 seconds left in the game.
It is, in fact, first down and 10 for the Fort Valley State Wildcats on the Blazer 49-yard line. Five receivers. Brooks being chased, and he throws it on the run. It's going to be incomplete. Intended, it looks like, for Marcus Bentley. Now, Dustin, the Blazers' attention now focuses to an opponent that they haven't seen since 2003. The Blazers are off next week, kind of a weird off week, right at the beginning part of the season. On September 23rd, we will be back here at Bazemore-Hyder Stadium when the Wonder Boys of Arkansas Tech University roll around, and they are a team out in the West that is very capable of coming in here and knocking VSU off its perch. We'll talk more about them later as the snap is given to Brooks. Here comes the blitz. He gets away. He's got lots of room to run, but instead picks it up and throws on the run, complete to Marcus Bentley, who's still moving, and then is met really hard at the 29-yard line.
That hit knocked the ball out, but they're not ruling it a fumble.
Appears to be down on contact for the Fort Valley State Wildcats. So, Arkansas Tech, do you know a whole lot about them?
I know they're capable of giving the Blazers a run for their money next week, and they're probably going to be
week after next, actually.
Excuse me, 2 weeks from now, and they're going to be a test to see where this team is at.
5 seconds, 4, 3, last play of the game. Brooks back to snap, finds a man wide open. They didn't go for the touchdown. Anyway, that signals the end of the game for tonight's game between the Fort Valley State Wildcats and the Valdosta State Blazers. Once again, well, hold up here. Is there a flag on the play?
It looks like they may be coming back.
Illegal formation. It's declined. That is the end of the ball game. So, your final score here at Bazemore-Hyder Stadium: Valdosta State beats its interstate rival Fort Valley State by a final score of 31-3. Reminder: September 23rd, we will be back bringing you coverage of Valdosta State versus Arkansas Tech right here at Bazemore-Hyder Stadium. On behalf of the entire crew that worked here, this is Neal Folger saying good night. We'll see you next week.
To host Arkansas Tech, once again, the Blazers will be back in action on September 23rd. To host Arkansas Tech at 1 o'clock p.m. Thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen, for your attendance to tonight's game. Please drive safely. Fans at this time, Blazer fans aged 5 through 8th grade are invited down to the Cleveland Field surface to join members of the VSU football and cheerleading squads. The Valdosta State quarterbacks will be on hand to throw passes, while the cheerleaders will be teaching cheers. Youth wishing to take part in the post-game fun can gather at the southeast gate to the field. That is the gate on the home side of the field nearest William Street, near the end of the game. Just look for the V-State flag if you're unsure of where to gather.